I'm about to go over some of the most disturbing and interesting lore from SML for 2 hours, so that you can fall asleep. Starting by going over the 13 SML characters who have been canonically killed off forever. And today, we're gonna find out what happened to every single one of them. Starting with the most infamous SML character of all time, Nancy. She was first introduced in SML movie Jeffy's Parents, where quickly it's apparent she is a horrible and abusive mother to Jeffy. And in this video, Jeffy got sent off to live with Nancy because she's his real mom. But it turns out she was only using Jeffy for the money and trying to get the $1 million trust fund when Jeffy turns 18. But he quickly escapes by jumping out of a moving car because he does not want to go through the hell of living with her again. And thankfully, Mario decides to adopt Jeffy when he gets back to the house, and later on, Nancy gets sent to jail. But this isn't the end of Nancy, because in SML movie Jeffy's 18th birthday, Nancy manages to escape jail and kidnap Jeffy. But later on, when they're going through the field, Simmons shoots out the gas cap of her van, and we think she's dead because she didn't escape the explosion like Screwball and Jeffy did. But this wasn't the case because we see her again in Jeffy's 19th birthday, where she's somehow still alive. How did she survive that? She literally is the William Afton of SML. But in the end of the video, Nancy gets absolutely lit up by Brooklyn Guy, and she finally dies for good this time because we see in SML movie Satan Claus, Nancy is in hell. And the craziest part is this might not even stick. Why do I have a feeling she's somehow gonna come back in Jeffy's 21st birthday? I literally have no idea how they would do this, but I'm sure they'll find a way. But another character who was killed off forever is Does Bad Things Guy. And if you didn't know, Does Bad Things Guy was one of Brooklyn Guy's 8 billion brothers. And out of all of his brothers, this was his only identical twin, with the only difference being he is super evil. Does Bad Things Guy first appeared in SML movie The New House, but the thing is we didn't actually know him yet. He pretends for almost 7 real-life months to be Brooklyn Guy, and despite him literally being a serial killer, he doesn't kill the SML family just yet. But this would soon change in SML movie The Secret Door. When Jeffy opens the door, Does Bad Things Guy told him not to open, and it actually ended up being the place where he stored all of his victims. And then Does Bad Things Guy tries to kill Mario's family, but Brooklyn Guy came in at just the right time and shot Does Bad Things Guy, killing him forever. It's kind of a shame. He was about to kill Rosalina. I just wish Brooklyn Guy would have came a little bit later so we wouldn't have to deal with her annoying voice.
Let's cut out your tongue, yeah. That should be worth a picture. Shut up! You're next! Alright, let's see, what do I use for this? Ooh, where's my saw?
The next character who was killed off forever is my boy Mama Luigi, and a lot of you watching this video might not know him, but he was a character in SML who first appeared in the Mario and Luigi Stupid and Dumb Adventure series. Believe it or not, he was the character who made SML initially blow up. He was basically the Jeffy before Jeffy in terms of popularity and also stupidness. But Mama Luigi got killed off at the end of the original Mario and Luigi Stupid and Dumb Adventures series. And the only reason for this was the voice actor for him had to move halfway across the country, and he couldn't film with Logan anymore, so they made one final video to kill off his character. And we've never seen Mama Luigi since then. That is until 2017, when Logan flew out Zeke and they filmed the Toad's Mistake remake. But this wasn't canon because it was a remake. Also, Zeke later turned out to be a PDF file, so it's a good thing that Logan stopped filming with him. Mama Luigi hasn't been seen since then, but Luigi came back to SML in some form in SML movie Marvin's Brother, and low-key, they were pushing it a little close with some of the references in this one. They're really just asking to get sued again.
You all want to just get together and play a game of Marvin Party?
Oh, Marvin, that's the last straw. Been nice knowing you. Pack it up, everybody, because they're gonna shut us down, so get ready for that. Hey, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Maybe we can hit 10 million before they finally shut us down for good.
But speaking of Pumpkin Guy, the next character who got killed off forever is Brooklyn Guy's son, who only appeared in one video called SML Movie The Call of Duty Blackout. He was just super annoying and bratty, and he even tried taking Black Yoshi's Call of Duty. And you know how protective he gets over these types of things. So as soon as Brooklyn Guy's son tried to take his game, he got a bullet straight to the face, and what's crazy is that Brooklyn Guy was actually happy about this because he wouldn't have to pay child support anymore.
No, you won't.
What? Yeah, give it to me. I need it now.
What, Black
Yoshi?
You are not gonna get my Call of Duty.
I'm about to
Black Yoshi.
take a while.
Oh.
And ever since then, he was never seen again. But what happened to Chompy, who last appeared in Precious the Rapper? And we haven't seen him since. And we can assume since dogs don't live very long and his first appearance was in 2015, he's probably dead. And the cease and desist letter means that we can't see him anymore either way, because, well, he's a Nintendo character. So yeah, he's probably canonically dead. But whatever happened to Harold? If you didn't know, Harold is actually Mario's grandpa. And just like Chompy, we haven't seen him since 2019. So we can assume since he was an old man, he probably just died off camera. That's not even mentioning the fact that he was always clueless. Like, bro never even knew where he was.
Pudding first, then the men.
Grandpa, I don't have time for these games. You're 87, not 8 years old. You need to take your medicine.
I need to take my pudding. You don't have a girlfriend, you homo. You're trying to fool them all wrong.
Grandpa, I'm not gay. I'm not homo.
Where you going, homo?
Next up is Phoebe, and the way she died is actually really sad. If you didn't know, Phoebe was actually Jeffy's sister, and she lived in a cage with him when they used to live with their mom, Nancy. But one day, Nancy, being the negligent mother she was, wasn't watching Phoebe or Jeffy when they were playing. So Phoebe was riding a bike and accidentally went out into the road, where she got hit by a car and sadly died. And this actually got people theorizing about who killed Phoebe. One potential suspect is Woody, because he's always been a terrible driver. Or it might have even been Black Yoshi, because he's known to steal cars and drive recklessly. So it could have been him too. But the most likely person to kill Phoebe, in my opinion, is CJ. Think about it. He has a long history of doing bad things to Phoebe, and we see him do outright disturbing actions in Jeffy's 20th birthday. And maybe it was all this that eventually caused Jeffy to crash and drive a monster truck into him, being the perfect revenge for killing his sister. Next is Shark Puppet. If you didn't know, on the first video made on the Super Bowser Logan channel, they actually did a collab with the popular YouTuber at the time called Shark Puppet, who has millions of subscribers. And Shark Puppet died in this video being eaten by a massive shark.
Daddy! Mr. Sharky went back with his mommy!
Oh, that wasn't his mommy. I saw it. He got eaten by a bigger shark. He's dead. Let's go home. And they haven't done another collab since, so I guess this death was actually canon. Next up is Harry. And the reason he was even a character in the first place was because when the cough cough was still a thing, Pablo, the voice actor for Cody and Brooklyn guy, didn't want to get his family sick, so he refused to voice characters in person. So SML had to improvise and add a new nerd character to replace Cody, which happened to be Harry. And he pretty much acted exactly like Cody, except he was British. And they used him for a while until Pablo finally decided to come back. So they made one final video called Cody Meets Harry, where pretty much Cody made a stupid ray and used it on Harry. He was banished to the closet forever, and ever since then, we've never seen him again. And he can't even come back if he wanted to, because Logan recently uploaded a vlog explaining that he lost the old Harry puppet, and he thinks Pablo burned him. And I wouldn't even blame bro. That would be so funny.
Can you help me find another Harry puppet? Because Harry was basically like a really smart British nerd character that Lance voiced. We replaced Cody with Harry while Pablo was gone.
Next up is Precious, who technically isn't an SML character, but she's had a few videos made about her, so she's on this list anyway. And the story for this one is actually really sad, because Precious actually died in real life, and she had a whole tribute video made about her, which I find so wholesome. Rest in peace, Precious.
PRECIOUS. That's my cat. That's my dog. That's my N-word.
Next up is Drawing Jeffy, who kind of got killed off forever. He died in SML movie Jeffy Sneaks Out, where Jeffy uses his magic powers to make a clone of himself, to make it seem like he's still there when he sneaks out. But this backfires horribly, because the next thing you know, Jeffy's clone is stood there with a gun pointed at Rosalina and Mario. But that's when the real Jeffy comes home and tackles Drawing Jeffy, and Mario grabs the gun and shoots him. But for some reason, he actually comes back just once in SML movie Mario Sells Jeffy, so he's not technically dead, but this video was in 2020, so maybe he passed away, or hell, maybe he's still out there, I have no idea. But what about Jeffy's dad, Jacques-Pierre Francois? And this one is weird, because for years he was technically considered dead, and this is the entire reason why Nancy wanted Jeffy so bad, so she could get her inheritance money. But we see in Jeffy's 18th birthday that he was actually alive this whole time, so I guess he was kind of dead in the eyes of everyone but himself? I don't know. But finally, we have Jimmy Butler, who started off as a character who Brooklyn Guy would watch and support for the Miami Heat basketball team. However, slowly but surely, Jimmy Butler would start marketing his coffee business and start getting worse at basketball, which pissed off Brooklyn Guy so many times, and he reaches his breaking point and Brooklyn Guy tries to help, where bro literally just gets sick of Jimmy and shoots him.
This reminds me of Colombia. You know, that's where I grow my coffee. I know, Jimmy. I know. Just think about the coffee, Jimmy. There's just so many different kinds of coffees. There's lattes and cappuccinos and cold brews and espressos. You know, my coffee contains smile matter, may cause happiness. I know, Jimmy. How do you take your coffee? Cream and 2 sugars, Jimmy. Cream and 2 sugars.
Next, let's go over some of the creepiest encounters that Logan has had with fans. And let me tell you, some of these are absolutely crazy. Logan is arguably the biggest YouTuber who in the past has let fans show up to his house to meet him, with SML's address being so public that they've literally put it in a video with over 20 million views. But with their address being public for almost 10 years, there are some crazy things that are bound to happen. From creepy stalkers to fans literally trying to break into the SML house, it's safe to say that SML has had some insane encounters with fans over the years. So today, we're going over the 6 times that fans crossed the line, starting with the time a psycho fan showed up at their front door in the middle of the night and tried to break in. Back in the summer of 2017, Logan was just chilling in his house, but around midnight, someone randomly showed up and started ringing the doorbell, so he got out of bed to see what was going on, as it was pretty unusual for people to ring his doorbell that late.
So I get out of bed and I walk towards the door and I peek around the corner like this, and I see a fan with his face up against the glass of the door.
Once Logan peeked out, the fan started yelling, saying things along the lines of, "Oh my god, it's Super Mario Logan!" Logan's first instinct was to not answer the door and go back in his room. But after Logan's attempts at ignoring him, probably thinking the fan would just leave, the fan then proceeds to start banging on the door and even trying to open it. And to make things even creepier, Logan admits the fact that they used to leave the door unlocked sometimes.
I'm standing in the doorway right there, and I hear this. I was like, hold the fuck up. I'm like, nah.
After this, Logan walked up to the door holding his gun that he keeps in his safe, telling the fan to leave before he called the cops. All of this caused the fan to leave, but who was the stupid fan who tried this? Well, bravely, the deranged fan would show back up the next day around 11 a.m. in the morning, and Tito decided to answer the door. During their conversation, Logan overheard the fan saying that he wanted to apologize for what happened last night. Tito then would ask the fan to explain his perspective in the situation, and this would make things way worse for the fan. It turned out that the fan was 20 years old and was a big fan of the videos and just wanted to meet Logan and Chili. The fan's excuse was that when he saw Logan through the peephole, he thought Logan was trying to tell him to come in, which was pretty hard for Logan to believe.
Unless you try to come inside my fucking house at midnight. I never met that fan. I just want to let you guys know, I never met him. I refused to meet him after he tried to come inside the house that night because I thought that was ridiculous as shit, and I don't think he should be rewarded for scaring the fuck out of me.
Logan and Chili, I'm 100% with you on this. No one wants someone like that coming to their door, especially not in the middle of the night. I love how protective he is. It shows how much he cares about his friends, girlfriend, and his pets. But that wasn't the only time a fan tried to break into the SML house. On August 31st of 2019, it was Logan and Chili's anniversary, so they went out to eat. But right before they were about to leave the restaurant, Chili decided to check the cameras that she had put up in the garage, just to see a group of people trying to break into the house through the garage door.
Quickly stopped what they were doing, like ran out into the street and acted like they weren't doing that. And then they asked me what neighborhood they were in, and I was like, the wrong fucking neighborhood. And they fucking walk away like we weren't doing anything wrong.
There's also a girl on the lookout.
Yeah, there's a girl at the end of our road on the lookout, and we knew, it's 11:30 at night, and there's this girl on the corner of the street just like standing there in the darkness for no reason, and then she starts power walking away, and I guess she was on the phone with her friends to let them know,
This situation was another weird one, and funnily enough, Logan and Chili actually responded to the situation by making a vlog titled "To the People Who Wanted to Break Into Our House," where they basically tell fans that there isn't anything worth stealing in the house, and jokingly say a bunch of things that fans are able to steal.
But we don't keep money in our house. There's not that much stuff you can steal. You can steal her. Please. Please, she literally screams, and also she weighs like 100 pounds, so you're gonna have to like lift this big thing out.
When breaking into houses, most people commonly have the intention to steal money or jewelry, which in the vlog, Logan claims they have none of that laying around. But the fans breaking in may have potentially had other intentions, such as maybe stealing plushies or even Jeffy, as they could sell him for lots of money. But Jeffy is kept in a safe at Lance's house, and Logan has even confirmed this in previous vlogs, so that wouldn't be a possibility. But who really knows, as it was never confirmed what their intentions were. Now, these situations are pretty creepy, but it definitely isn't as creepy as the white car scandal. Around 2025, Logan posted a vlog on the Chili channel titled "The SML Crew is Scared. Crazy fan or hitman or stalker." In this vlog, Logan says that on a random Wednesday night, during filming, an unknown white Tesla did a wrap around the cul-de-sac on the filming house, and then randomly left.
We were filming a scene under the streetlight, and the white Tesla came back, circled the cul-de-sac. I got fucking pissed, so I just put my phone at their car and I recorded it. So here is the scene of them driving by. And it seems to be this fucking kid and his girlfriend, or a man and a girl in the car. We don't know who the hell it is.
At first, Logan thought it was a fan, and maybe he just wanted to check out the house. But one night later, it got even weirder, as Anthony was on his way to pick something up for a video, and he ran into the white Tesla again on a little road where they typically film pullover scenes. The Tesla was parked and the guy was just sitting in his car, and when the guy saw Anthony, he ducked his head and hid. Now, that caused this situation to become insanely weird, so Logan sent Will to see what was going on, but the fan proceeded to drive away. Now, Anthony got a video of the car pulling up, but what turns it up a notch in the weird scale is that he had his license plate fully blacked out.
The car just sitting there. He has his license plate blacked out, so you can't see his license plate, you can't see his number, and they keep driving by the filming house. And if it's a fan, then I feel like if it was a fan, he would have came up to the door by now. Or when we were outside getting a scene, I feel like he would have rolled his window down and been like, "Hey guys, I'm a big fan." He keeps fucking coming back. He has a girl in the passenger seat of his fucking car. Who is this?
Now, after this happened, the situation never escalated further, and nothing else seemed to happen. Now, this situation was pretty creepy, as there has never been an answer to who the man was and what his intentions were. But I have some theories on this. The most likely answer to this is that it must have been a really weird fan, who just wanted to try and stalk the filming house and potentially the crew. But I don't think he had any bad intentions. In the vlog, Logan was saying that it might have been a hitman or a private investigator, but none of these are really likely, as they would have been way more mysterious, and probably would have at least had tinted windows. But it makes the blacked out license plate situation all the weirder. And if it was really just an introverted fan who wanted to stalk the crew, the covered license plate makes zero sense in this situation. When the community saw this, they started making rumors themselves, such as the fan potentially scoping out the house to perform a robbery. I'm sure others have said this already, but he's clearly scoping out your house to hit a lick. He's trying to find out your schedule and what nights you won't be there so he knows when to rob it. You've said in previous vlogs before that you don't live there, so maybe he's trying to figure out what times you aren't there consistently. I'm honestly surprised you didn't even think of this. You have a shit ton of money and guns. Bro, dude's gonna take that shit and you'll never see the white Tesla again. Wild guess. Bro was waiting for the house to be empty and break in to steal the classic plushies. After this vlog, Logan never spoke out about the white car guy again, and this situation was another one left unanswered. All of these situations so far have been very weird, but none of them got physical like this next incident did. On April 9th, 2018, Chili posted a vlog titled "Crazy Fan Steals My Purse," and the title sounds like the most clickbait title there could be, but it actually turned out to not be clickbait. In the vlog, Chili shows a fan that came to meet him named Lance, and he gave Chili and Logan some plushies and a nice little heart decoration with Chili and Logan's name on it. Once Logan came out, they all started talking and the fan even showed him his tattoos, but once they got distracted and were talking, the fan striked and ran out with Chili's purse.
Oh god,
Wait, that's my purse. Tito! Why would he close? Tito, get him! Oh my god, are you serious?
Simon, don't slide me! Get off, Tinny!
Logan, get my purse from him!
Simon, don't slide me! Take it! It's a
Why?
No!
Why would you do that?
It's a prank! It's not even April 4th. It's an April 9th prank.
April
9th Fools.
April 9th.
You know?
April 9th Fools.
April 9th Fools. It's a thing in, like, Switzerland.
No.
I'm from Switzerland.
The dude tries to play it off like it was some kind of April 9th Fool's joke, which is very unlikely. And let's be real, he was really just trying to steal that purse.
It was a prank.
It was a prank.
Oh, I have to leave now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably have like 5 seconds or we're calling the cops.
Yeah, they don't like me. I'm sorry.
Thanks for the stuff, by the way.
Now, whether any of this is actually real, that's up in the air. Like a bunch of other stuff in the video, there's never a straight answer. It might have just been a skit for the camera, orchestrated between everyone. Because, let's be honest, who just lets someone walk away after they rob them? But at the same time, maybe it was real, and they just decided to be chill about it and let him go with a warning. But who knows? But what I do know is that Logan and Tito were both laughing during this, and barely even reacted when he took the purse, and knowing that a lot of Chili's vlogs in this era were fake, it's very hard to believe that this wasn't some sort of skit. However, some fans don't directly steal, but they do the second worst thing, begging. On March 30th, 2019, Logan posted a vlog telling a story of how a group of fans begged for free things from Logan for 2 years straight, and they did this every single month. Back in 2017, Logan explained how he had a bunch of spare PS4s, controllers, TVs, and much more expensive electronics because of the Black Yoshi's Black Friday video, and Logan decided that he would give these away to fans. Logan then started saying that around that same time, they had 3 fans knock on the door, ages 10, 13, and 15. Then, right off the bat, they started saying that they were big fans and straight up asked for free stuff.
They opened the door and they said they were big fans and they want to know if I was doing a giveaway. And I was like, that's kind of awkward and rude to ask, because I was like, you know, like usually they'll knock on the door and say, can we get a picture with you? Can we meet you? No, it was just as soon as I opened the door, hey, do you have any free stuff?
Logan just responded to them by saying yes, and thinking that they were brothers, he gave PS4s to the 10 and the 13-year-old. Then the 15-year-old would push the 10-year-old and get the PS4, and the 2 oldest would run off. So it turns out they were for sure not brothers. Then, a day later, the 10-year-old returned and Logan gave him a Nintendo Switch. After this, something unbelievable happened. Just one day later, Logan got a knock on his door, and the whole neighborhood showed up, most likely because the 3 kids that showed up the day before told the entire neighborhood that they'd gotten free stuff from Logan. And very weirdly enough, the 3 original kids were together again as if nothing happened.
After I give the Switch, the next fucking day, I get a knock on the door, I open it, the whole fucking neighborhood. I'm talking there was like 30 kids. The neighborhood over, they told all their friends, guys, guess what? We got free shit. And the 3 brothers that just push each other down, oh, they're happy again. They're all together. 20 fucking friends, and they're all like, you got any iPhones? You got any Nintendo Switches? You got any PlayStation? You got any? No, you're not fans of my videos. You literally said free shit, I'm there.
That was pretty crazy, but Logan couldn't give anything away to any of them as he physically wouldn't be able to get enough stuff for that, and he got Chili's sister Damaris to tell them to leave. But that wouldn't be the end of it, as for the next 2 years, the original 3 kids would keep showing up once a month asking for free stuff.
And I thought that was the end of it. No, for the next 2 years, it's still happening today. They show up, those same 3 kids show up it's probably once a month. I don't want to over exaggerate. It's probably once a month. They'll fucking come to my door and they'll say, you got any more free shit? Or hey, you got any more iPhones? No, I don't. No, I fucking don't. I'm not the store. Is there a fucking AT&T logo or a Best Buy logo on my house? No. And I know you guys think, well, Logan, you're exaggerating. No, it's bullshit.
After Logan went on his mini rant, Chili started talking about an incident that happened the same day they filmed the vlog. Basically, the kids showed up again and asked Chili if Logan was home. And typically, Chili would just say no, but at the time, she decided to ask what they wanted Logan for. Then, the fans, like usual, asked if they were still doing the giveaways, and Chili responded by saying that no, and they've never done these giveaways. And one of the kids straight up just started cussing out Chili for no reason. Now, that was the end of the story, and like usual, we never knew what happened after, and if they kept showing up, or if they stopped. But these were most likely not real fans and did not watch SML. Like Logan said earlier in the video, they were most likely just trying to get free things. Now, those fans may have just been harassing Logan, but at least they didn't vandalize the SML filming house, like these next fans who TP'd Logan's house. This occurred on February 15th, 2021. Logan ordered DoorDash that night around 12:30 a.m. Then, a little while later, Adriana decided to go check if the food was there. Even though it wasn't, she still got the surprise that she wasn't expecting. The house was full on TP'd. After hearing this, he decided to check the security cameras and saw that 10 people did it, and it happened an hour before Adriana went to go check.
And she's like, I'm gonna go check. I said, it's not here. The app says it's not here. But she still ran out and she opens the door and I hear her say, Logan, someone TP'd the house. And I'm like, no, they didn't. That didn't happen. I thought she was just joking. And she's like, no, someone TP'd the house. Come here. And I go look and there's toilet paper everywhere. And I'm like, haha, of course, that's my life. So I go check the security camera footage and like an hour, it had happened like almost like 30 minutes to an hour ago. And the 10 people did it. And which I'm impressed because if you told me, one, I don't know 10 people. I don't have 10 friends. I don't think I've shook 10 people's hands in my life. and so how did this, like, there were 10 teenage boys, I think. If they're grown men, Jesus Christ. But I'm assuming, here's what I assumed happened. Tell me if I'm wrong. Because 10 people is not a sleepover. That's a party. See, like, a sleepover is like 4 people. 5 max. 10, that's a football team almost. There's 11 players on the field at once. So that's almost a whole offensive line.
Logan would also post his reaction to the incident on one of his secret Logan 30-acre accounts.
I'll show you. So you open the door and there's just toilet paper. There's toilet paper everywhere. It's on my Lamborghini too. Poor me.
Poor me. Poor me. There's toilet paper on my Lamborghini.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's toilet paper all over my Lamborghini. There's toilet paper all over this. That's the Uber Eats lady. There's toilet paper everywhere. It's cold, but like they left it in the street. They littered.
Did you know that was like 8 guys?
Yeah, it was like 8 people.
It was like 8 people.
And this wasn't even over yet, as Logan decided to make a segment out of the whole situation for an SML video. And this was in SML movie Cody's New Friend. He basically got Junior and Joseph to TP their own house, and they would blame Luke, who was Cody's new friend, and try to get him to go to jail.
All right, officer, here's the security camera footage. So if you look at the top right-hand corner, you notice Luke and his group of buddies, all named Luke, just show up to my house, right? They're all armed with toilet paper, and they're like, we hate Junior. We're gonna ruin his night. So they all just start throwing toilet paper all over my house. See, boom, there goes one roll, and another roll, and another roll, and they just start destroying my house with toilet paper, and they run off because they notice I have security cameras, and they're like, we hate Junior. So you see, look, they committed a huge crime, and they graffitied my house with toilet paper.
Those fiends.
Yeah, so I need you to go arrest Luke.
This whole incident is definitely worth being in an actual SML video. So the people who did this actually helped Logan make money out of the situation. But in Lance's vlog, Logan made a crazy theory. He pointed out that there was a birthday party going on the same day, and it was raining, so the fans didn't drive to Logan's house to do it. Plus, they would need around 3 cars to fit 10 people. So Logan was basically saying that potentially all these fans were from the birthday party, and happened to know that Logan lived there, so they decided to go TP the house.
Yesterday when I was coming home, there was a birthday party happening on the house down the street. Like right before you turn, there was a lot of cars outside there. So there was a birthday party. Do you think? No.
Which is why though, randomly like, oh, look at this guy. Unless they knew you're the YouTuber.
So they were like, yeah, there was actually a birthday party. Hold on. Maybe.
Maybe that person did have 10 friends.
Because think about it, no, it was a birthday party. More than 10 people come to a birthday party. Not mine, but more than 10 people go to normal people's birthday parties.
Yeah.
So think about this. Because the car situation. Okay, let's say there was 10 of us. And we have a lot of cars outside. So what if we were like, guys, let's go. We'd all have to pack in the 3 cars at some point. And it was also raining last night. Yeah. So they didn't walk here from like a long distance. Right. And I sure as know they didn't drive here.
That would be dumb.
Because a drive, they'd be like, that's a long drive. And
too much work.
It had to be from that house. Because it had to be a quick enough walk. It was an inside job.
Now you're making them famous because they're going to watch this and be like, oh my god, they talked about this.
I'm using it in the video. They made me money.
To add on to the theories, fans also started making theories about the situation. And one fan even made the theory that it could have been the kids who were asking Logan for free stuff for 2 years straight that we talked about earlier in the video. Imagine if it was the kids who always asked for free stuff and their friends. Logan has definitely had quite the fair share of creepy and crazy fan encounters. And who knows if we'll ever see another one in the future. But with that being said, please don't be weird and show up to the SML house. If you want to meet SML, just go to the meet and greets. That's why they do them. Next, we're going to be going over the 10 darkest SML videos of all time. Starting with one of the most disturbing videos on this list, The Gun. This is an episode where the 3 boys go to the park with a metal detector detector. While there, they end up accidentally finding a gun hidden in the playground. Now, what makes this video dark? Well, there's actually two main things, all of the gore being one of the biggest factors. This video was filmed back in September 1st of 2016, all the way back when SML still filmed in the old apartment. Up to this point, Logan, the creator of SML, barely used any blood or gore in his videos. So this was a pretty big jump from family-friendly plush show with the occasional dark plot to Junior straight up killing his best friend with a gun. But what makes this video even more off-putting to me is the plot. To quickly recap, Junior and his friends are bored, so they go to the park with a metal detector to search for treasure. But while searching, they find something none of them could have ever expected. A gun. Okay, pause. In this situation, literally the worst thing you can do is pick up the gun and put your fingerprints on it. The best thing you can do is just walk away and report it to local authorities. But knowing Junior, of course, he picks it up, and this is where the video starts to take a dark turn. They go back home and turn on the news, where they see a press conference with Brooklyn Guy explaining how someone earlier that day brutally shot and killed 15 people with the same gun that Junior took home. Knowing they're screwed, they try to wash their fingerprints off the gun.
Yeah, make sure you get the trigger.
Oh, the trigger, yeah.
But Junior killing Cody was only the beginning, as this leads to the most disturbing part of the entire video. Junior goes to the kitchen and quite literally cuts his hand off to get rid of his fingerprints, which is not at all how that works. Junior is just so stupid. Chef Pee-Pee, in a panic, goes to see what's going on, and while doing this, he accidentally gets his fingerprints on the gun too, resulting in him also cutting his hands off. I guess nobody in SML has a brain. Even the comments agree that this is one of the most dark SML videos of all time. Jeffy's tantrum is family friendly compared to this. This is probably the most brutal SML video that YouTube had to delete for sure. But it only gets darker in the next video on the list, which has one of the creepiest scenes in SML history, Jeffy's foster home. Now, the dark stuff in this video only happens about halfway through the video, which is clearly a parody of the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre. SML actually ended up making a stand-up video about this 4 years later, but Jeffy's foster home made the list because what happens in it is way more dark. But to give some much-needed context for how we got to this point, the video starts with Mario getting in a fight with Jeffy on the couch, which results in Jeffy calling the cops. Brooklyn Guy arrives and Jeffy makes up a bunch of lies about Mario abusing him, which Brooklyn Guy believes for some reason.
Hey, officer, look! They're rattlesnakes!
Whoa, get back before it bites you!
Oh, come on, that's a balloon animal!
That is the rare northern South Dakota rattlesnake. It's very poisonous. It could kill 100 men with one bite. If it bit all 100 men at the same time. It's got a big fucking mouth. Stand back!
Brooklyn Guy finds out he doesn't have enough evidence to arrest Mario, but he still has to stay and watch them for the next 24 hours to make sure that no abuse is actually happening. Brooklyn Guy shadows a day in their life until Mario eventually gets tripped over the edge and starts beating Jeffy, which prompts Brooklyn Guy to send him to foster care. And this is where the video starts to take a dark turn. Brooklyn Guy admits to Mario at the door that he didn't actually believe any of the lies that Jeffy was making up, showing that he's actually on Mario's side. In fact, he wants to send Jeffy to foster care just to teach him a lesson. Brooklyn Guy takes Jeffy to a trailer, which is going to be his new home, and the person Jeffy is going to be living with is his brother Makes Bad Decisions Guy, which is clearly a spin of his brother Does Bad Things Guy, who will actually be making an appearance on the list later in the video. Anyways, Jeffy goes into his new foster home, and man, I gotta say, those eyes on Makes Bad Decisions Guy are pure nightmare fuel. He shows him around the house when suddenly a man with a mask and a chainsaw comes in, who seems to be a parody of the character Leatherface. But in this video, apparently he's called Tim. Tim brings them an arm to eat, and Makes Bad Decisions Guy even offers some to Jeffy. But when Jeffy declines eating the arm, Makes Bad Decisions Guy gets offended and sends Tim after Jeffy to kill him.
Help me! Somebody help me! Help me! Let me go! Okay, I'll eat the arm!
After they lock Jeffy in the room, they plot that they're gonna cut him up and eat him in the morning. Meanwhile, Jeffy realizes that he wants to go back to his dad Mario. So while they're sleeping, Jeffy starts to make an escape. But once Jeffy's almost out, we get this iconic scene where Tim runs down the hallway chasing Jeffy. At the end, Jeffy makes up to his dad and everything is back to normal. This video was a lot more dark than the typical SML video, and it seems like people in the comments agree. This video traumatized me as a kid. Oh my god, I finally found it! In my opinion, this video was disproportionately dark compared to the others. But now, we're moving on to the top 8, which are the more darker videos on this list. The next video being The Purge. This was released on April 5th, 2016, and similar to The Gun, it was back in an era of SML that was very uncommon for them to make a dark-themed video. This video gave me goosebumps when I first watched it. Only OGs remember how scary this was back in the day. But the darkest part of all is what happens at the end of the video. This video starts with the boys on the couch watching TV, when suddenly the news comes on, announcing the annual purge is set to take place that day between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. And in case you don't know, the purge is an annual event where any crimes are legal, including murder. Because of this, Bowser comes in kicking out all of Junior's friends and Chef Pee-Pee, fearing that if they stay in the house, they might murder them. Junior's friends don't take it too personally, but this really offends Chef Pee-Pee, and they'll be regretting kicking him out later. Bowser then gives specific instructions to not open the door for anybody, and this is where it starts to take a dark turn. We find out that Brooklyn Guy and Chef Pee-Pee teamed up with one specific goal: killing Junior. For all of the torment these two characters have had to suffer with Junior for all of these years, finally, they're about to get their revenge once and for all. Oh yeah, and they're also accompanied by Simmons and Karen, which actually turn out to be a horrible idea. They knock at the door and Junior goes to check who it is. Junior, though, being a complete idiot that he is, sees Olaf through the door and breaks Bowser's one specific rule to not let anybody in. Once Simmons misses a gunshot, Junior realizes that this is a gang of people who are trying to kill him, so he runs away and hides under some pillows. Meanwhile, the gang split up and try to find Junior. They even have a really close encounter. But of course, knowing Karen, she messes everything up. Brooklyn Guy then goes back to where she was checking to finish the job. But Karen once again is a nuisance and makes Brooklyn Guy miss his gunshot, letting Junior get away. So Brooklyn Guy decides to just straight up kill his wife. At least it wasn't illegal because it's the purge. Junior then catches Simmons in a trap, hanging him from the ceiling. After this, he runs into a room thinking that he's safe. But then they start breaking through the door with a freaking axe. I have no idea how they were allowed to do this because they filmed this video in an apartment. Junior runs under the sheets as a last resort, but at this point, he's cornered. There is nowhere to run, but just when you thought there was no hope, Chef Pee-Pee and Brooklyn Guy start arguing about who is gonna be the one to kill Junior, and they can't agree on this, so Chef Pee-Pee shoots Brooklyn Guy. Junior asks Chef Pee-Pee why he wants to kill him so badly, but Chef Pee-Pee makes a critical mistake when he yaps for 6 entire hours about why he hates Junior. And at this point, the gig is up. The purge is over, and Chef Pee-Pee has to go back to his normal job of being a chef. This video was really dark, but it's pretty bearable because of all the comedic relief that's sprinkled in throughout the video. But the #1 video on this list has none of that, and is downright the most disturbing SML video of all time. You want to watch this whole video, but coming in at #7 on the list is a video that gave me literal nightmares as a kid. Joseph Moves In. I love how dark and messed up SML videos from back in the day were until demonetization screwed them over out of nowhere, which is stupid. Well, let me tell you, if any SML video deserved to be demonetized, it's probably this one. This video was posted on February 18th of 2017, shortly after they moved into the main SML filming house. And this is the era right before they got demonetized where they were super edgy and creative with their videos. And it shows in this video. It starts when Joseph comes to the door with his dead mom. It turns out his house burned down, and now he doesn't have a place to stay. But Junior, being the good friend he is, decides to let Joseph stay in his house, which later turned out to be a big mistake.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go turn off the light, alright?
Alright, dude.
Alright, good night, Joseph.
Good night, dude.
Joseph? Joseph?
Yeah, if my friend did that, I would instantly kick them out. Nope, I'm sorry, but you're living on the street with your dead mom after that one. But Junior's a little more forgiving than I am, apparently. So they try to go to sleep again.
What is it? What? Joseph, what are you doing?
What, dude?
Okay, no, I'm sorry, you're gone. I could not tolerate that. That's crazy. Bro was doing it on purpose too. But somehow, even after that, Junior doesn't kick him out of the house, which would later be a big mistake. Because after cleaning all the covers, Junior falls asleep again, to where Joseph is painting "I'm sorry, Mom" with blood on the walls. When Junior asks what's wrong, Joseph starts getting close to him with a knife.
Just wake up. You think I care about you, Mommy?
Just wake up, Junior. Just wake up, just wake up.
Mommy. Say any last words.
Junior then stays up all night fearing for his life with Joseph sleeping right next to him in his bed. But Joseph somehow wakes up and says he had the best night of sleep he's ever had in his life, and how he's super happy about finally being able to sleep in a bed. Now, Junior's in a rough position where he wants nothing to do with Joseph living in his house, but he doesn't want to be mean and kick him out. So the whole rest of the video is focused around Junior and Cody finding a way to get Joseph his own place, which they eventually do, but that part of the video isn't really dark, so we're not gonna cover that. This user said, "This video honestly makes me wonder if Logan was planning to do something much different with Joseph and his mom before he became demonetized. Like, was there some sort of planned Halloween special that would have been just as dark as the secret door video? But I guess we'll never know." This next video takes a dark twist in the way the other videos haven't yet. Coming in at number 6, we got Jeffy's new toy, which sounds like a pretty innocent title, but the content in the video couldn't be any further from that. This video was uploaded May 5th of 2017, which is just a few months before the main SML channel got demonetized. The video starts with Mario on the couch checking his emails, when he accidentally clicks on a spam link, which leads to what Jeffy calls Ass Pounders 2.
Thank God. Jeffy, you weren't meant to see that. That was an accident. It was a spam link.
Daddy, you better turn that back on.
What? No, Jeff, you weren't supposed to watch that. It's inappropriate.
Daddy, she was taking a pee-pee in her butthole.
Rosalina comes over and Jeffy starts trying to explain what he just saw. And obviously Mario doesn't want Rosalina knowing about this, so Mario tries bribing Jeffy by telling him he'll buy him a toy if he shuts up about what he just saw. They then go to Toys R Us where Jeffy wants to buy a super creepy doll he found in the toy aisle. And obviously they buy it because of, well, the plot. But what happens with the toy later in the video leads to some of the most creepy scenes in SML history. Words cannot explain how scary this was when I was younger, this user says. Jeffy brings the doll back to the couch where, of course, Rosalina somehow thinks it's cute. But I don't know how anybody could think this is cute. That's just crazy.
Jeffy, you could have had any toy in the entire store and you chose this scary thing?
Because she can talk to me, Daddy.
What? She can talk to you?
Yeah, Daddy. She said she wanted to come home with me.
Clearly, this doll seems to be possessed, as later, Jeffy explains the doll is named Areola, and she wants to kill Mario. Mario is pretty much terrified at this point, so he puts Jeffy to bed, which I think might have been a mistake.
Areola, why don't you like my daddy? Oh, he's really a nice guy. You don't have to kill him. Well, do whatever you have to do, Areola.
After Jeffy says this, the power goes out, and Rosalina goes back home. But this is where the video gets really dark. Mario goes to check on Jeffy to only find that the doll is missing. At the same time, Jeffy seems to get possessed, leaving Mario alone with a flashlight. This is where the doll comes alive and starts breaking stuff around the house. It also left a pool of blood spelling out liar. But with all this buildup, it turns out that the entire time it was just Rosalina in a costume. And this was just a big prank that Jeffy and Rosalina were pulling on Mario because they were mad that Jeffy got shown Ass Pounders 2. Great. This comment says, this is probably the best scary video I've seen yet in the SML universe. But speaking about the SML universe, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But now that we're in the top 5, we should get to some videos that are actually really screwed up. The 5th on the list being Junior's punishment, where Bowser grounds Junior for breaking his favorite cup. Therefore, Bowser grounds him as his punishment and makes him stand in a corner. Despite how innocent this may sound, it actually takes a very unexpected twist later in the video. This video was posted February 19th, 2015, which was a time period that they normally targeted a younger audience, which is strange because later in the video, Junior does some not so family-friendly things. In fact, this is so messed up that SML fans were questioning why Logan would do this. But to give some much-needed context, this video starts with Junior playing with his balls. No wait, pause, not those balls, these balls. Anyways, Junior eventually breaks Bowser's, quote, favorite cup by accident, causing Chef Pee-Pee to make Junior tell Bowser exactly what he did. This leads to Junior getting beat by his dad, and he's upset about this, obviously, so he decides to call the cops. Officer Goodman arrives, and Junior tells Goodman that his dad was beating him. Because of this, Goodman gives Bowser a warning not to beat Junior. Bowser, confused on how to punish Junior in other ways than beating him, decides to use the corner method as an attempt to punish him. And this is where the video starts to take a dark turn. While Junior's standing in the corner, he begins talking to himself and describing the traumatic experiences by standing in the corner for literally just a minute. He's obviously overreacting. But once Bowser goes to unground Junior, he calls Junior's name repeatedly with no response. Then, Junior tells his dad that he's never leaving. The corner is his entire life now. Because of Junior's new behavior, Bowser drags Junior out of the corner in an attempt to get him to be normal again by playing with his toys, to which Junior was reluctant. After this incident, Cody and Joseph show up, but they notice that Junior's acting strange. So they confront him, which causes Junior to say he's a changed man. He explains how 5 minutes in the corner forever changed his life, and how he's never gonna get that time back. Junior then begins throwing a tantrum and throwing all his toys around, screaming in rage, which causes Bowser to show up and ground Junior once again. However, this time Junior seems to be happy that he's getting grounded, going back to the corner again, which is really unexpected behavior from Junior, because normally he hates being grounded. Who doesn't? Once Junior is grounded once more in the corner, Cody and Joseph visit Junior to tell him he's sick and how they shouldn't be friends anymore. Junior agrees, saying that he's gonna stay this way for the rest of his life. Then onto one of the most disturbing scenes in SML history. Well, this is self-explanatory, but this is super dark coming from a channel that just plays with toys. Bowser comes rushing in panicked, getting Junior out of the situation he got himself into. This then leads to Junior finally breaking down and saying the corner is too much for him, and then he says the word damn, which leads Bowser to try to punish him by washing out Junior's mouth with soap.
Tell me what other cuss word do you have to say to me? Oh, none? I didn't think so. You like the taste of soap, don't you, Junior?
I've had worse in the corner.
After getting beat again, Junior quickly goes back to normal. This video showed SML using dark humor in a way they never have up to this point. And I don't think up to this point either they've ever really covered a serious topic like this. But this next one has the darkest ending in SML history. In fact, it has one of the deepest plots the show has ever seen. At number 4, we have the magical button, where Junior, Joseph, and Cody all find a button that leads to every single main character in this video dying. This video is just as dark as it sounds, and it fits perfectly with all of the videos he was making at the time. This video was released on June 30th, 2017. This was literally right before SML got demonetized, with controversial SML videos on the rise. This video also had some very questionable scenes. However, before we talk about those scenes, we must begin to explain how we got here. This video started off with the trio all watching TV, they see an advertisement for a place called Paper World, and they all want to go. So Junior asks his dad, but Bowser says no, and tells Junior to go play with paper in the attic. The trio then go to the attic to snoop around and find some paper, but then Cody finds a skeleton with a button right next to it, and this is where the video begins to get dark. When the trio returns to the couch with the button, they read the instructions on the back saying that you will be given one wish every time you click the button, as long as the value of the wish does not exceed $50,000. However, every time a wish is made, somebody randomly dies, which is kind of messed up both in the video and in real life, considering the crew only values each human at $50K. Jeez, that's messed up, Logan. I'm just kidding, don't get mad in the comments. I know you're typing down there, put your hand down, but also, while you're down there, you might as well subscribe. Please subscribe. Anyways, after this realization, Junior is antsy to press the button, while the other two boys try to dissuade Junior from pressing it. However, Junior is an idiot and wished for a golden fidget spinner at the expense of Brooklyn guy, who was on his firefighter job saving a cat. Wow, Junior. After he gets his golden fidget spinner, Cody begins yelling at him, telling him how wrong the whole situation is of what he did. However, Joseph tells Junior that the fidget spinner he got doesn't even glow in the dark. So Junior immediately presses the button and gets a gold fidget spinner that glows. This time at the expense of Charlie from Charlie and Friends. After Junior does this, Cody gets even more mad at Junior, saying how he's now just murdering people, but for some stupid reason, Junior thinks that Cody was challenging him to see who can make the cooler wishes. So Junior wishes for a bathtub full of mac and cheese. This time Patrick's mom dies. Once Junior yet again kills another person, Cody has Joseph hide the button while Junior is occupied in his mac and cheese bath. However, once Junior gets back to the couch, he instantly finds it right between Joseph and the couch cushions. However, Junior is spiteful of what the two boys schemed against him. So I guess you could say Junior intentionally murdered somebody while wishing for a Sprite. This time, the wish killed his own dad, Bowser, but it only gets worse. After this wish, the two boys continue to question Junior's ethics, but Junior argues the button probably doesn't even kill people, and it's just a scare tactic, so he wishes for an ice cream truck, and this time Chef Pee-Pee dies from the wish. After all of those wishes, Junior continues to go on a kill/wishing spree, and wishes for Hubba Bubba, which kills Joseph, and then wishes for another pack of it for Cody, which kills Goodman. After they're both satisfied, Junior goes to the kitchen to get Chef Pee-Pee to clean up the mess on the couch. However, they realize Chef Pee-Pee died, and then they go to Bowser's room to find out that he's dead too. Junior, realizing they're both dead, is super sad, and he wishes for a bag of gummy worms to make him feel better, which ends up killing Cody. After Cody dies, Junior realizes that now everyone he knows is dead, and finally understands the extent of what he's done, and he wants to reverse it. So Junior goes back to the attic to see on the back of the button, it says the only way to reverse all the deaths is by unaliving yourself. He then finds the gun right next to the skeleton where the button was found, and he does the deed. When everyone's alive again, Cody and Joseph click the button wishing for Junior to return back to normal, and that pretty much sums up the video. This episode had a much more dark and deeper meaning than the other episodes. It really showed how greed can end up killing or hurting someone. This is one of the deepest SML videos ever. It gives me goosebumps every time when Junior finds out how to bring everyone back. Truly amazing. This video was super dark, but in a way that's actually really enjoyable. Lost in America. After learning about his wealth, Nancy offers to take him inside for a drink, which happens to be drugged. And this video is just so messed up in so many ways. First, she's trapping him in a cage, and the only water he can drink is full of cigarettes he grew up in. We all knew that Jeffy had a messed up childhood, but we did not know it could be this sad. We all knew him as a disabled kid with no point in life to live, but we never knew that this kid had one of the best reasons for his behavior and attitude. But not even this video compares to the darkest SML video of all time. But first, we have to talk about number 2, a video that gave me nightmares for weeks when I watched it when I was a kid. Junior's 8th birthday. This video starts off with Chef Pee-Pee scrambling to find a place to host Junior's 8th birthday, but last minute they find a FNAF-themed location, which as you can tell sets up a very eerie video. This video was released on September 28th, 2016. Now, before we get into what's dark about this video, we need some background information on how it led up to this point. This video starts off with the trio on the red couch and some very questionable behavior we can just skip right past.
Wait, did you just kiss
Shut up, your birthday whore! Oh, this is gonna be good. Joseph, start the music.
What music?
I said start the damn music, Joseph!
Okay, dude. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, here it comes, Junior. Take your lumps. 1! Yes! 2! Oh, yeah!
After those interesting scenes, Junior goes and asks his dad Bowser what time he's scheduled at Chuck E. Cheese for the reservation, but Bowser forgot Junior's birthday, so he lies and pretends that he remembered. Therefore, he goes to Chef Pee-Pee and tells him to schedule a reservation at Chuck E. Cheese, or he would cut his nuts off. Wow, that's a really creative punishment. Once Chef Pee-Pee is on the phone and tries to get a reservation for the night, Brooklyn Guy tells him that it's not happening. However, Brooklyn Guy, understanding of the nuts situation, refers Chef Pee-Pee to another place they can use for the night. After the phone call, the trio and Chef Pee-Pee go to so-called Chuck E. Cheese. However, when they arrive, the trio quickly realizes that this is not Chuck E. Cheese, as they see dim lighting and creepy FNAF-inspired animatronics. However, here's when it begins to get dark. Once the guests arrive, Brooklyn Guy tells them that the animatronics do not work, but he promises fun for the trio. After he leaves, Joseph makes a creepy drawing.
Hey, Junior, look. This is what I got you for your birthday. See, look, it's you getting killed by Freddy, right? See, I didn't have enough money to buy you anything, so I just drew you a picture.
After this creepy and awkward scene happens, Brooklyn Guy brings out what he calls a pizza.
What the hell is that?
What do you mean, what is this? It's a specialty deluxe pizza.
What pizza is that? Yeah, well, what is that? What's on that thing?
Oh, like pepperoni, cheese, some kind of meat.
And fingers? Yeah, there's eyeballs and fingers on that thing. It's blood, too.
What are you talking about? You act like you never seen a pepperoni pizza before.
But that's way more than pepperoni. Yeah, that's...
Once they see the gory pizza, they obviously all freak out. However, Joseph, being poor and stupid, decides to eat some of it. After the trio gets situated with their pizza, things take an even darker turn when Chef Pee-Pee abruptly goes missing. However, Junior and Joseph try to brush it off as a joke, thinking he just went to the bathroom. Later, Brooklyn Guy comes back in the room with a game he calls Roast the Birthday Boy, which leads to some rude jokes that obviously offend Junior. After that game, Brooklyn Guy takes them to the next game where they bob for apples. However, the so-called apples are human body parts. So Cody abstains from playing the game and Junior reluctantly pulls an arm out, but Joseph, being excited, bobs for all of the body parts, thinking that he can rebuild his mom. At least Joseph's having fun. However, once they're done bobbing, Junior and Joseph realize that Cody is gone and they see a pig animatronic that's right by them, despite being told the animatronics don't move. Once they realize the animatronics are moving, they obviously get creeped out and call Brooklyn Guy, where they ask him about why it's moving. However, the most disturbing and unknown mystery of the whole video is when Brooklyn Guy makes an excuse for why the animatronics were moving with some anxiousness in his voice, which adds on top of the creepy nature of the video. Anyways, after Brooklyn Guy's strange behavior, Junior realizes Joseph's also gone missing, and Brooklyn Guy disappears from the scene as well, which really confuses Junior. After he asks why everyone is going to use the bathroom at his party, Brooklyn Guy shows up dressed as Doofy the Dragon. Finally, at the end of the video, the animatronics appear to be singing Happy Birthday, very creepily while holding a cake that they drop off when they're done singing. And then there's this terrifying jump scare at the end of the video. That jump scare at the end is just fucked up. The pig still haunts me to this day. I love that the animatronics move around and you can see them standing in the dark when nobody notices. This video was very dark, especially for the time it was uploaded. But now it's time for the darkest SML video of all time, which a lot of you could have probably guessed, the secret door. This video is by far the most dark SML video that Logan has ever posted. The re-upload of the video has over 9 million views, which really just shows how notorious this SML video is with the community. So let's get right into why it's so dark. This video starts with Jeffy playing hide and seek. When he goes to look for a hiding spot. But he hears strange banging noises coming from the door Brooklyn Guy told them specifically not to go in when they bought the new house. In SML movie, The New House.
Wait, what's going on? Hey, what's going on?
I said I would be with you in a minute. You know, she was impatient. Look what happened to her. All right.
Mario and Rosalina are finally done counting and are about to search for Jeffy, but they hear a huge scream from him coming from the secret door. Mario remembers how Brooklyn Guy told them not to go in there, so he really doesn't want to check it out, but Rosalina convinces him that they have to save Jeffy. This is when they open the door and see the 27 missing bodies that Brooklyn Guy mentioned when he originally took them on a tour of the house. And unfortunately, I have to blur all of this because I think YouTube will terminate my channel if I show this. They go to call the cops, being super panicked about what they just found. But it's at this moment when Brooklyn Guy sneaks behind them and knocks them out with a hammer. Brooklyn Guy ties them up and reveals that all of the people dead in this room were from the previous homeowners. That opened the door when he told them not to open it. The fact that this video has lore which connects to the first episode they got the house, and a fully fledged story, shows me how much of a legend SML is. Brooklyn Guy then explains that he's not actually a cop or a doctor. He just stole those uniforms and pretends to be those jobs. Brooklyn Guy starts to get sick of them screaming, so he takes Rose and is about to kill her. This is when the door opens and Brooklyn Guy shoots Brooklyn Guy? Yeah, it turns out that the Brooklyn Guy we see in this video actually isn't Brooklyn Guy. In fact, it's his brother Does Bad Things Guy, who took over his jobs for the past 6 months while Brooklyn Guy was on vacation. This is probably one of the creepiest SML videos to ever exist. The storytelling is absolutely incredible now that I'm coming back to it. Be sure to click on this video right here if you want to see more SML rankings. From trying to look up Elena's skirt at an SML meet and greet, to being caught dating age fans, there are many creeps scattered around the SML community. So today, we're gonna look into what happened to the 7 most infamous ones. And there's no better place to start than with EDP445. Him and Logan were pretty good friends. So much so to the point where Logan flew EDP and his friend Felipe out to Super Bowl 51. At the time, EDP wasn't financially stable, and even had his own GoFundMe. So Logan saw this and wanted to help out. He was gonna sign him to a 6-month contract to be a part of the crew back in 2017. Logan offered him $5,000 a month to voice act. However, Logan ended up ghosting EDP, not responding to any of his texts or answering any of his calls. One of Logan's excuses during this period is that he was, quote, on a cruise. Now, believe it or not, Logan may have made one of the best decisions of his career. Fast forward to 2021, EDP was caught texting a and was planning to meet up with her. Fortunately, the wasn't real, and it was all a sting operation by YouTubers under the name of Predator Poachers. EDP ended up meeting with the YouTubers and thinking it was gonna be the age, but instead, they ended up catching him, and EDP's insanely dumb excuse is that he was there to, quote, pick up a cupcake.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
Now, we can all clearly agree that this was a whole bunch of lies, and even the YouTubers that caught him knew, as they had all the nasty stuff that EDP said in his messages for evidence. Now, many of you may be asking, how would this have affected Logan if he had hired EDP? Well, thankfully, Logan ghosting him worked out, as if Logan did hire EDP, well, let's just say we would have a lot of problems on our hands. Most of you probably assumed that EDP was done after this. Well, he sure wasn't. In 2023, the YouTubers named Gideon and Skeeter Jean caught EDP again while trying to meet up with a and funnily enough, Gideon was wearing a cupcake costume.
Well, Brian, I just want to know, why do you think we're here? If you could guess, Brian, why do you think we're here? Could you answer me that?
And to add icing on the cake, just 2 months later, SML came out with a new video called Jeffy Catches a Predator, completely mocking EDP, making him a puppet, and making Joseph think that he was friends with him, and Logan even added the infamous cupcake quote in there.
What are you doing here, bub?
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
Nowadays though, even though he had his YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers terminated, while being banned from most of the internet, EDP is still active on very small small, low-key social media accounts with only a couple hundred followers, mainly Twitter and TikTok. Although he's playing a game of whack-a-mole because whenever they find his accounts, he gets banned. But while EDP is chasing cupcakes, WH Dude was chasing the Arby's number 12 with a side of lolly. Oh, WH Dude, aka the most unemployed SML reactor ever. Where do we even start with him? In case you don't know, WH Dude is an SML reviewer / reactor, if you can even call his reactions that, and let's just say he's not exactly a fan favorite in the community. Even SML themselves took shots at him in one of their videos, calling him a crybaby. They actually used his YouTube profile picture for Cody's channel in SML Movie Cody's Amiibo, and had Cody crying and titled the whole thing "I Cry for Attention," which is a reference to how WH Dude squeals for attention in his rant videos.
Look at you cry!
Now, some of you might not be caught up with the community, and might be thinking, what did he do to get so much hate? Well, I think the best place to start is with his rants. Well, most SML reviewers at least try to be fair, or constructive. This dude would just go off on Logan, like full-on meltdown mode. Long story short, if you're planning to check out any of these videos, do yourself a favor and turn down the volume first.
Hey guys, this is Logan. I just wanted to say, this is the 1-year anniversary when I said, screw you all, I'm gonna make lots of Jeffy videos. Why? Because I wanna make lots of money.
Another reason why people aren't too fond of him is because he literally is the fun police. He would go off on rants in his videos about SML merch, even though that stuff is clearly meant for the younger fans. And sure, the product placement can be a bit much sometimes, but realistically, he's just complaining about nothing. By now, most of you are probably thinking that's it for him. But no, we haven't even scratched the surface yet on some of the more serious things he's done. And some of these things are just really, really weird. For example, at the start of this year, another SML YouTuber named Darkcray dropped a video titled "The WH Dude allegations are insane." And yeah, he wasn't kidding. In it, he laid out some serious stuff, claiming that WH Dude had been dating a girl who told him she was 16, and while all this was going on, he was 19 at the time. On top of that, there were a bunch of messages and moments that were just super creepy. So after Darkcray's video blew up, WH Dude ended up posting a response video, but let's just say it didn't really do him any favors. He basically just denied everything, but didn't show any proof or try to clear things up in a solid way. Meanwhile, Darkcray came in with screenshots and actual evidence, so you can probably guess who most people believed, especially since WH Dude already had a rough reputation in the SML community. And to make things even worse, the response was barely a minute long. He only talked about one of the accusations and completely ignored the rest, which made him look even more guilty. And this caused the comment section to be total chaos. People were dragging him left and right.
There was also a claim about supposedly masturbating to this person, which obviously isn't true.
Ah, yes. The best defense against any allegation. This isn't true, guys. Obviously. Trust me, bro. Dab. Dude, this was probably the worst response he could have had. Honestly, I'm not sure if Logan lies more or if WH Dude does. We got real-life Mr. Winkle before GTA 6. Probably one of the worst responses to allegations I've ever seen. You should be ashamed, dude. But believe it or not, the allegations don't even stop there. Darkcray came back with another video, claiming WH Dude had been talking to even more cupcakes. At that point, things were seriously piling up. So finally, WH Dude dropped a longer response, about 10 minutes this time. But honestly, it was not much better than the first one. Instead of explaining anything, he pretty much just brushed everything off with, obviously, this isn't true. And here's the thing. Sure, he might think it's obviously fake, but to anyone else watching, especially the people who don't know him personally, it's just not that simple. And all we see is one guy with screenshots and receipts, and the other guy saying, nah, I didn't do this, without showing anything. Naturally, people are gonna side with the one who came with proof. That's just kind of how this stuff plays out. Now, you may think we're done here, but we're certainly not. WH Dude is not only an unemployed SML critic and PDF file, but he's also a misogynist. In his videos, he has always made his misogyny obvious, and not many people really ever notice it. For example, Dub put together some sort of guide for girls, like a list of requirements if they wanted to date him, which is definitely not a weird thing for someone to make. But let's be honest though, nobody wants to date Dub. Now, what really stood out was the first thing on the list. He says he wouldn't date anyone to 19 or younger, which is pretty ironic, considering that he literally online dated someone who was way under. The main reason on why this is misogynistic is because Dub is claiming that girls can be controlled by men, as he's making rules for girls that would want to get with him. Nowadays, WH Dude is making non-SML related content to stay undercover after the accusations, getting way less views than his SML content ever got. But while WH Dude may have barely held on to his presence on the internet, let's take a look at someone who disappeared forever. The SMR was a pretty well-liked SML critic and reviewer in the community, and one day, his whole career went to shambles. On December 23rd, 2023, his Twitter account got fully hacked. The hacker posted his full address, which definitely isn't normal at all. After he got hacked, all of his friends were trying to message him and see what happened, but they got no response. Shortly after this, the inevitable happened. Rumors started circulating of him messaging cupcakes. It wasn't believed by most at first, until the messages actually got leaked. This wasn't good for him at all because he had a pretty good social media presence. So hours later, the SMR deleted all of his social media and completely disappeared from the internet. This left many fans in shock, and everyone eventually started hating him for what he did. Really loved watching him until it came out that he was texting cupcakes. After a while had passed since the allegations, the SMR ended up reaching out to an old friend of his, a fellow YouTuber named Super Mario Nick. He gave Nick a lot of information. He opened up to Nick saying that he was getting doxxed due to his address being leaked. He also sent a paragraph trying to explain that he'd been set up, claiming that all the allegations were just made up by a group of people who apparently hated him for no clear reason. But honestly, that came off as pretty suspicious, especially since there was a lot of evidence contradicting what he had said, so most people don't buy it.
What happened was, again, I was on Instagram and then I saw the SMR, not from the SMR's like actual Instagram account, but from his like personal Instagram account. He like messaged me and he said like, hey, it's the SMR, and he wrote me like a paragraph of text basically explaining that he was, framed and whatnot, and that the stuff that he did was, just made up by a bunch of people who hated him, and I don't know if that's entirely true, to be honest.
The situation escalated so much to the point where there's even rumors that the SMR supposedly wanted to off himself. All of this caused the SMR to become one of the main examples that people in the SML community would bring up whenever someone got exposed for stuff like this. But while the SMR was perving out to cupcakes, XBS was perving out to Elena Keys, the voice of Rose on SML. XBS is a notorious name in the SML community due to his absolutely outrageous simping for Elena, and he would go to any length to do so. But before we talk about that, I have to tell you about an Instagram account named Drama Plush Studios, aka Mike Van. You're probably wondering, why am I telling you about this guy in the XBS section of the video? Well, that's because he is secretly XBS, and he uses this account to hide his identity and stir up drama. He claims that this Mike Van guy is not XBS, but in this video from Instagram, we can see clear proof that they're the same person. XBS slipped up on the live stream and made it super obvious. And as we can see in this clip, he clearly looks down to turn the camera off on the Mike Van account. But now that we know that these two are the same person, which will be important later, let's get back to his shenanigans with Elena. He was known overall to just be really weird and creepy towards Elena online, always leaving comments on her Instagram posts. But what really took the creep meter to 100 is when he went to an SML meet and greet where Elena was there, and during this meet and greet, he got a picture like any normal SML fan would, which just something about this picture is so uncomfortable. Why is bro getting this close to Elena? That's just, bro, like, stop. But after he got his picture, XBS got a bouncy ball from the giant gumball machine, and while he was near Elena, he dropped a ball on the ground, and while picking it up, he tried to look up Elena's skirt. While he thought this was a smart move, the SML crew caught on to this and were laughing about it, and this was all on the live stream. But to make his simping even worse, on top of XBS being a total creep, he's even tried to take down this YouTube channel, because on May 24th at 2:30 a.m., my video about what happened to every one of Logan's ex-girlfriends got a copyright strike, which right away was pretty weird, because I've never really had any copyright problems with SML in the past. So I looked into it, and what would you know? It was claimed by the one and only Mike Van, aka XBS. And if we take a deeper look at this, bro literally claimed me on a random clip of Adriana crashing out at Logan. So obviously this was a false claim, but it makes you wonder, why would he want to claim me? Well, he actually posted an Instagram story right before before claiming me. And I don't really want to read all this, but basically, in this post, he accuses me for having AI videos. I don't know what about this channel he possibly thinks is AI. I have a small team of SML fans, and we literally spend hours researching and editing these videos for you guys. But anyways, more importantly, it seems like the only reason he took this down is because he was white knighting over Elena. Like, brother, she's not gonna let you hit. If Elena really had a problem with this video, she could have taken it down herself. Like, it's not that deep. So anyways, after this whole debacle, I submitted a counterclaim, and then he started crashing out even more on Instagram, which you guys can pause and read over if you want. But after this, he responded by saying, I don't know how he can get me in court. It's an obviously AI made video, so he legally doesn't even own the rights to it since he didn't make it, which is like the dumbest thing to say because it's not AI. And yeah, sending a false copyright claim to someone under a fake name, even when you're not 18, would not win a case in court. But, you know, whatever. But eventually, he contacted YouTube and removed the strike, probably realizing how wrong he was in the whole situation. He must have quickly learned that nobody in the YouTube community likes people who false strike others' work. Copyright strikes are a serious deal, because if you get 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. But while XBS might be a total creep and a copyright abuser, nothing XBS did can compare to the amount of stuff that came out about Ray Rants. Ray Rants was another SML YouTuber, kind of in the same lane as the SMR. They had similar content, and people often compared the two. Eventually, some allegations came out about Ray. People were claiming that he'd said some really inappropriate stuff to a old cupcake. It was a serious situation, but similar to the SMR, he was also liked in the SML community at the time, so a lot of people actually stood up for him. One of those people, yet again, being Super Mario Knit. He pointed out that when the SMR got exposed, he immediately deleted his channel, which made him seem like he was guilty, but Ray Rants at the time didn't do that, and some took that as a sign as he wasn't trying to hide anything.
So yeah, so I believe that Ray Rants is innocent, okay? That's the side that I'm proving, that's the side I'm supporting.
At the time, Ray Rants actually messaged Super Mario Knit, saying his defense was that the cupcake was being persistent, and he kept telling her to stop. But clearly, this was a big fat lie, because just a few weeks later, Ray Rants also deleted his channel, literally pulling an SMR. It was pretty much confirmed that he was guilty, and after that, he disappeared, and no one really heard from him again. But the community wasn't about to let this slide. Some people went too far, and there were even cases of doxing, but for the most part, people started collecting receipts, they dug up Discord messages, and put together evidence from other platforms, and by then, it was pretty clear he was done for. After that, the SML community's reputation took an even bigger hit. Things were already rough after that whole SMR mess, and now this? Yeah, it wasn't a good look for anyone. But now, let's talk about the one and only Zeke. And most of you probably already know who he is, but for those who don't, Zeke is one of the oldest SML crew members, and mainly voiced Mama Luigi. He joined the crew in 2008, but shortly ended up leaving in 2009 because he had to move to Colorado. But this wasn't the end of Zeke in SML, because in 2017, he came back to film the remake of Toad's Mistake, and supposedly some parts of the Super Mario Logan movie. But after this, Logan never invited him back to film. Now that we got that out of the way, what we really gotta focus on is how Zeke was a creep in the community. Well, none other than Darkray himself made a video on him in August of 2024, exposing Zeke for liking Con. Very similar to WH Dude. I guess best friends always have something in common. This caused many fans to start hating on Zeke, as before he was completely adored by the community, and most people were shocked that the very man who voiced most of the OG fans' favorite characters is now doing these absurd things. What hand would Dub have in any of this? Pretty interesting turn, though Zeke didn't strike me as weird at first, but I later went on to learn how absurd and weird he can be. It's a shame that Zeke was a creep. I had fond memories of Mama Luigi from old Super Mario Logan, but Zeke's actions are unacceptable. Another thing about Zeke is his content he would post. He would sometimes post very questionable content, like online dating simulators and anime games that have suggestive characters in the thumbnails. And funny enough, one very interesting thing about Logan is how he has gut senses for when it comes to PDF files. I mean, Logan avoided hiring a PDF file not only once, but twice. Now, Zeke did make a response video to this on his channel, but he started it off by saying that he thought the drawings were supposedly of girls that were of age.
To his response, I had liked, retweeted, and commented on on that art that he showed, because I was under the impression it was drawn aged up.
Basically, for the rest of the video, Zeke is apologizing for his actions and saying that he should have never retweeted that and had a private account. However, having a private account still wouldn't make retweeting and fantasizing about it good at all. Nowadays, Zeke went pretty inactive on social media due to the incident, but many people in the video comments did show him sympathy, hoping this gray area of controversy will be over sooner than later. Stay strong, Zeke, and have a good one. I made a lot of mistakes in the past too, that I still regret to this day, but I believe that if a person is willing to change and grow, they still deserve a second chance. You're one of the nicest people I've met. You always stay true to your heart and what's on your mind. I believe you and forgive you. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, no one is perfect. It's a part of life. Take care, my friend. However, at the end of the day, all of this made Zeke a creep, and many people in the SML community still don't like him. Some fans may have forgiven Zeke, but the same definitely can't be said about Sean Mays. Sean, also known as Sean Lover, or PlayStation Master, was a member of the SML community back in 2017 to 2018. He was known for being an obnoxious fan of GameCube Dude, and he's one of the more obscure creeps on this list. But he's easily probably the worst in this video. It all began back in February of 2018. Sean started making some really inappropriate and unsettling comments towards a cupcake on Twitter. This cupcake was actually a moderator from a Discord server that belonged to WH Dude, though that server has since been taken down. And if you think it can't get any worse, he would also sometimes send incredibly disturbing videos to cupcakes, basically telling them what he would do to them. Viewer discretion is advised here, as some of these clips are incredibly disturbing.
And as for Steven Bluto Plussy,
You look it. Thank you. I'll mention it.
see that?
Is this your way of getting back to me?
You and me making out, having eat together at night, no parents, you know, having sex with you.
Now, some of you may be asking, what was the age of the moderator in question? Well, to make matters 10 times worse, the moderator was that many years old, and Sean was 22. After all of this madness went down, Sean hopped on a podcast with WH Dude and tried to clear his name, but it just ended up making everything worse for himself.
Bluto Plushie, I just want to apologize for harassing you in the past few months. I know you don't like it. Well, it's just that because I was a little bit mad at you for banning me at your server.
I have a question. So,
Yeah?
because he banned you from his server,
You decide to actually harass him because of that?
and you made those comments that what?
After everything that happened, a lot of people started making videos talking about Sean, and eventually he was removed from the SML community. You'd think that'd be the end of it, but things actually got more serious in July of 2018. That's when Sean got caught showing his private parts to a 15-year-old YouTuber. Even though he tried to deny it, Zeke and several moderators confirmed what had happened. Not long after, GameCube Dude saw enough and eventually spoke out about it during a live stream.
Yeah, you know what? That's something I can say about Sean Mays. Sean, you've said in your videos that you're a fucking pedophile. People have seen it, and you're gonna start calling my friend a pedophile? I have half a mind to dox you, find out who you are so you can't pull this shit anymore.
And a thing with Sean is that he can never learn, because in December of 2018, he got caught talking with a cupcake again, and this time, this cupcake was the ripe age of years old. He would try to defend himself in the comments of the video, but this just incriminated him even more. Listen, I'm sorry, okay? It's just when I look at her, it reminded me of my ex-girlfriend, or I got in a What? In addition to everything, during 2018, Sean would also do a lot of other very weird things. Some notable examples are that he once peed on a live stream. He also made a completely false story about his mom getting offed, most likely to try to get sympathy from the community. And to make everything worse, he even got on a stream once. But fast forward to the end of December, and Sean disappeared from the internet. Most people thought that this was the end of Sean, but he proceeded to return in December 2020, just 2 years later. He would make a video announcing his return, but he would leave shortly again after because he ended up showing his private parts to another cupcake. However, this time, thankfully, it wasn't a real cupcake, and this was actually a sting operation set up by the YouTuber named Corson Drax. Before Sean disappeared for good, he made one final response video trying to clear his name, and basically just denied everything, calling the YouTuber a liar and said that he's a good person.
Corson, you're a liar, you're a snake, and you're a toxic Why? Because you tricked me last night by asking me to show in my private parts, and I had to expose you why you did it. Because you're an ugly motherfucker in a I don't care. I don't know why Luis Young 50 and Puddle of Pieces are friends with you, but I have to address this. I hope everybody can clear my name, that I'm a good person, a good man, and I have a chain man with some big muscles.
Now, honestly, I'm not surprised at all if you cringed at this, but he was very clearly lying and had no remorse at all for his actions. Many people in the SML community hate Sean, and also cringe from all of his nasty actions. The SMR was an absolutely horrible person. No one would deny that, but the things Sean did was, geez. People who like him make me lose my hope for humanity. Every word that comes out of Sean's mouth just makes me want to puke my guts out from cringe alone. These are definitely a crazy amount of creeps and weirdos in the community, but let's hope there's not more. And if you guys want to watch an SML channel that's not gonna be a PDF file, you should subscribe to me. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other options, is there? Everyone else who made videos talking about SML was not locked in and was trying to get a cupcake. From killing evil characters who deserve it, to sending off nukes, killing millions of innocent people, this is every single time that Jeffy has committed murder. Starting with a time Jeffy took it too far in SML movie Jeffy the Wrestler. In this video, Jeffy and his friends donate to a canned good charity event for a chance to fight their favorite wrestler, Bone Crusher, and Jeffy wins by donating the most canned green beans. No surprise there. However, when Jeffy gets the chance to fight Bone Crusher, he ends up taking it way too seriously. He gets in the ring and absolutely beats the crap out of Bone Crusher, hitting him with a chair, a stool, hammer, and eventually jumps from the ladder, straight up killing him, all the while thinking that everything was fake.
Please don't do it, no! 1, 2, 3. He's dead!
Brooklyn guy puts Jeffy under arrest, but then literally lets him go, letting him get away scot-free with murdering someone on TV. But the next time Jeffy committed murder isn't nearly as unjustified, and that's the time he killed CJ in SML movie Jeffy's 20th birthday. In this video, we're given some backstory on what it's like for Jeffy and his sister Phoebe growing up. And let's just say it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Jeffy and his sister didn't get fed enough, and they were often locked in cages for hours at a time every single day. However, the worst would come when Nancy's drug dealer CJ would come in and do unspeakable things to Phoebe, creating some massive trauma for Jeffy and his sister. On Jeffy's 20th birthday, he had some flashbacks of everything that happened throughout his life, and he finally decided he had enough of it. He goes back to the old trailer where he grew up, discovering that CJ is still doing some of those terrible things to other girls. Jeffy, being Jeffy, does the only logical thing he can think of, which is literally tying CJ to a monster truck and ramming him through the old trailer, making sure CJ can never do this to anyone ever again. Even though I completely understand where Jeffy would be coming from with this, it's fair to say that he could have still got charged with murder, unless he doesn't get caught. And it does seem like Brooklyn guy doesn't really care anyways. Another time Jeffy got a little reckless was when he was driving in SML movie Jeffy Loses His Head. In this video, Marvin gets an insurance check from one of the many times that Jeffy wrecked his car. Jeffy wants to buy a new car, with Marvin not really wanting to. Jeffy eventually gets his way and gets a new convertible that he paints to look like himself. He then runs down the road super quickly, not paying attention to the huge power line in the road, and ends up getting his head chopped off. Brooklyn guy sees that he was decapitated and takes him back home. Marvin and Brooklyn guy have a lot of back and forth before Brooklyn guy realizes they can time travel back with his Apple Watch and save Jeffy from being decapitated. They travel back in time, Brooklyn guy takes care of his past self, and then Jeffy is tasked with taking care of Marvin's past self.
Marvin? Where'd you go?
I'm back, baby.
Marvin, where did you go?
All right, Danny, I did it. You killed my old self? I did. Oh, thank you so much.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure how Jeffy would even get charged for this, but hey, it's murder he got away with nonetheless. Moving on, we have SML movie Jeffy plays GTA 6. In this video, Joseph supposedly gets a copy of GTA 6, long before the game is even supposed to come out. Junior and Jeffy really want to play it alongside Junior. Jeffy gets first dibs to play it, however, and he thinks he's playing, neglecting to realize that he doesn't even have his VR headset on, thinking real life is the game. Jeffy then goes around doing some absolutely wild things, like beating up Chef Pee-Pee and attempting to run over Goodman with his own Lamborghini. However, Jeffy doesn't stop at just that, and things get much worse. After attempting to kill Goodman by running him over, he then drives down the road and sees Tyler playing in the road, and doesn't stop or slow down, just simply runs him over, in the process killing him. His then violent crime spree continues when he gets pulled over by the police, and pulls out a freaking grenade launcher and blows up the police car with Simmons in it.
Oh, I guess it's just a Nerf toy. Can't do any damage.
Holy shit! Simmons!
Jeffy eventually gets arrested for his crimes, but all he ends up doing to get out of jail is using a cheat code and opening up his cell that was already unlocked. Pretty big brain moves there, Jeffy. Jeffy finds himself caught up and taking people out again in SML movie Jeffy Ball Z Part 3, cosplaying as Goku to find the Dragon Balls. In this episode of the series, Jeffy sets out for the Dragon Balls again, after our favorite character Pumpkin Guy steals his wish from the dragon, and he runs into Junior and Joseph as Vegeta and Nappa respectively. Jeffy attempts to defeat them, and instead is beaten up by Nappa's snot laser. Jeffy then recovers quickly, goes Super Saiyan, and flat up kills Joseph instead as a part of his revenge.
Now you're gonna die with my speed.
Oh no! Nappa!
Vegeta then goes on to talk to Lord Frieza, completely ignoring the death of Joseph and letting Jeffy get away completely scot-free with his crimes once again. Speaking of Junior, we have our first time on this list where Jeffy has a partner in crime, that being SML movie Jeffy's drone. In this video, Jeffy decides that he's bored and asks Mario if he can get a drone that he sees on TV. Jeffy then decides to let Junior play with his drone while riding it, but Junior gets him stuck and Jeffy has to be rescued by Mario. Mario then tells Jeffy to go play outside instead, and Jeffy and Junior think it's a good idea to send the drone up as high as they can, exploding the drone into an oncoming airplane and causing the plane's engine to go out, leading to it crashing and killing 250 passengers.
What the hell was that?
After this, Mario finds out that Brooklyn Guy was flying the plane after he comes and bothers Mario since he lost all his jobs. Later on, Brooklyn Guy discovers that the plane crash happened because of Jeffy flying the drone into it, but yet still decides to blame Mario instead, and just straight up kills the pizza delivery guy, Bronx Dude, since he took all his jobs. Next, in SML movie Jeffy's Home Alone, Mario gets a call from his grandpa asking him to help figure out his microwave, thinking it's a TV, and Mario rushes over there, leaving Jeffy home alone, thinking he's sleeping. Jeffy then wakes up and goes absolutely bonkers, drawing some NSFW things and performing his favorite pastime with some Cheerios on the table. He eventually orders pizza, and Brooklyn Guy delivers his pizza, realizing that he's home alone. After discovering this, he and Simmons break into the house, and drawing Jeffy comes to life from a picture Jeffy drew.
Run, Simmons, run!
When the robbers break into the house, they see bowling pins and go to investigate, and drawing Jeffy takes the chance to literally throw a bowling ball down, crushing Simmons instantly. Brooklyn Guy tries to beat him up and kidnaps drawing Jeffy, holding him for ransom. He doesn't get anywhere with it though, leaving Mario confused and letting Jeffy get away with no consequences yet again. But let's take a look at another time Jeffy also had a little bit too much fun with some Cheerios in a night, that being in SML movie Jeffy's Kids. tweets. This video is by far one of the most ridiculous videos Logan has ever created. That being that Jeffy's Cheerio box becomes pregnant. Brooklyn Guy is called over as she gives birth to 2 identical twin small-sized Cheerio boxes and another kid. This being a small Jeffy with Cheerios all over him named Jeffy Jr., which is a complete abomination to say the least. Jeffy spends the video trying to protect his kids, but isn't able to stop Jr. from eating his 2 Cheerio twins. Eventually, Jeffy traps Jeffy Jr. in the bathroom until he learns to use it, but Jeffy lets Jeffy Jr. get flushed down the toilet, never to be seen again.
Those are my kids! You're gonna pay for this!
What?
Hello? Hey, did you call the police?
So yeah, after everything, let's hope we never have to see any other of Jeffy's kids ever again. But next is SML movie Jeffy Wick. In this video, Jeffy is given a gift by his great aunt Ernestine, which turns out to be a dog that was sitting in a hot box for 2 days, and Jeffy names him Winn-Dixie. Brooklyn Guy tells Jeffy to get the dog some water, so Jeffy runs to the gas station where 2 criminals are eyeing his PT Cruiser, and notices his dog in the passenger seat. After seeing his dog and having some empty threats, Jeffy drives away. The 2 criminals come back to the house later that night, and while they're trying to steal his PT Cruiser, they run into Winn-Dixie and end up shooting him to be quiet. Jeffy finds out about this and turns into Jeffy Wick, seeking revenge for his dog. The robbers eventually make their way back to their house and get murdered by Jeffy.
Where are you, Jeffy?
Man, it was just a stupid dog!
Jeffy hangs up his gun after this, of course, until it's time to make 3 sequels, as he says in his own words. Jeffy has fought plenty of bullies in his day, with the most infamous being his beef with Bully Bill. But the time that we're gonna look at is when Jeffy just straight up decimated Bully. No mercy at all. And this is an SML movie Jeffy gets expelled. In this video, it's St. Patrick's Day, and Bully thinks it's a great idea to pinch Jeffy, since he isn't wearing any green. Jeffy then proceeds to beat the crap out of him, and Bully retaliates by pressing charges against Jeffy. Bully Bill pressing charges against Jeffy causes Jeffy to be trapped at home with an exploding ankle bracelet that will explode if he takes even 1 step outside the house. Later, Bully Bill comes by Jeffy's house and challenges him to a fight, and Jeffy just can't help but accept and steps outside his front door. Mario hears an explosion and goes outside, sees Jeffy's shirt and thinks he's dead, but it turns out Jeffy isn't dead. Instead, he ended up attaching an ankle monitor to Bully in broad daylight with no regrets, and even admits this in front of Brooklyn Guy, who has no problems just sweeping it under the rug.
I took the bracelet off and I put it on the bully. He exploded, Daddy. Oh, okay. So I guess if he exploded, he can't press charges, and that means Jeffy's not expelled anymore.
So yeah, it sounds like Brooklyn Guy as a cop isn't exactly concerned with following the law. So I'm glad I don't live there with them. Jeffy's murder spree in the classroom doesn't just fully extend to Bully Bill, as we see him take out Jackie Chu, an SML movie Jeffy's imaginary friend. In this video, we see Jackie Chu assign an assignment where the kids have to partner up and make an extinct animal out of Play-Doh, and Jeffy ends up with no partner. Because of this, Jeffy creates an imaginary friend named Bunghole. During this time, Bunghole becomes progressively darker and darker, and even attempts to make Jeffy kill people, including Mario. Jeffy then takes Bunghole to school and tries to show Jackie Chu his imaginary friend. But he doesn't like Jeffy's creation very much, and this causes Bunghole to tempt Jeffy to throw his chair at Jackie Chu, attempting to kill him.
But I'll get in trouble. Do it. All right, Crass. I hope you all enjoyed working on your Play-Doh project.
Oh, shit!
Dude, Jeffy's hardcore! Is the teacher okay?
It's not entirely confirmed if Jackie Chu survived this or not, since throwing a chair at somebody is hardly the quickest death sentence. But Jeffy definitely did this with the attempt of murdering Jackie Chu, so yeah, let's hope he's not dead here. Jeffy has murdered people for some absolutely bonkers reasons, but the biggest example that we can point to for the most disgusting murder he's been a part of is in the second Squid Game series. In SML movie Squid Game 2 Part 3, we see the characters have having to survive a game of tug of war. The difference with this game, however, is if you lose the game of tug of war, you fall into a massive pit of acid, and several characters end up dying in this episode, such as Rose and Barbara. Jeffy gets his time to shine later in the video, when he teams up with Chef Pee-Pee and gets the chance to have a match with Hansel and a random circle guard. Chef Pee-Pee and Jeffy get close to losing their match, and Chef Pee-Pee gets Hansel to fall over by telling him that there's beer in the acid pit, causing them to lose the game and their life.
Jeffy, I think I know what to do. Hey, homeless guy, there's beer in that bucket. Beer. No. We did it, Jeffy! Yeah!
Spoiler alert, Jeffy eventually wins the entirety of Squid Games, and instead of getting thrown in jail for murdering somebody, he gets a lot of freaking money, so no worries there for him. But Jeffy's kill count is about to go way up in SML movie The Spy Balloon. In this video, Junior, Jeffy, and Cody are playing with a toy rocket, and when it's Jeffy's turn to play with the toy rocket, he hits it so hard that it flies into the sky, popping the Chinese spy balloon flying overhead. After hearing this, the chief calls Brooklyn guy to go talk to the kids, and tells them that they'll only get medals if they meant to knock out the balloon, which Junior lies about, and this causes them to become the only line of defense for America. Jackie Chu eventually calls the boys, telling them that China is going to nuke them, and the boys, being the incredibly unintelligent people that they are unable to stop the nuke. The nuke blows up in San Francisco, costing the lives of 2 million people in the process.
Breaking news, okay? A nuclear ballistic missile has hit San Francisco. The death toll is in the millions. We believe it was shot by the Chinese.
It would be hard to top that level of absurdity, but Jeffy does it pretty easily when he's president in SML movie President Jeffy. In this video, Jeffy runs to be class president and somehow wins. Brooklyn guy comes by the house and tells Mario that he lost the other presidential candidate for the current election, and instead asks if Jeffy will run against Trump. Jeffy and Trump debate and go back and forth, with Jeffy and Trump giving some questionable answers in the process. However, Jeffy then wins the presidential election, and when Jeffy gets elected, Brooklyn guy gives him access to the nuclear football, where then Jeffy takes this opportunity to do the only thing that he could think of, which is to nuke every green bean factory, literally killing every single person on the entire planet. But if you thought that was crazy, to finish off, we have Jeffy's biggest murder of all time, which is in SML movie Jeffy Scream, where he decided to murder all of our time while watching this video. Jeffy is by far the biggest menace in SML, from destroying private property to first-degree murder.
Oh, look at this kid, he's about to get creamed!
And even straight up war crimes. But in all of his degeneracy, Jeffy has never faced the appropriate punishment for all of it, usually getting away completely scot-free. But what if he didn't? In this video, we'll look over what Jeffy's prison sentence would actually look like. And let's just say the final number is crazier than I ever expected. But let's start with one of Jeffy's first and most tame crimes, in Jeffy's bad word. And the crime he commits in this video comes up after Mario has had enough of Jeffy swinging around the F-slur like it's nothing. So he spanks Jeffy, which causes Jeffy to accuse Mario of R-wording him.
911, what's the emergency?
Mr. Police Officer, man, my daddy raped me.
What?
A serious accusation like that can carry up to 6 months in jail for intentionally perverting the course of justice. Sheesh. And to make it even worse, Mario ended up getting arrested for this false accusation. So yeah, it's not looking good for Jeffy so far. The next crime we're gonna look at is in Jeffy Goes to the Zoo. In this video, Mario gets the genius idea to take Jeffy to the zoo, which results in him scaring the animals, causing a giraffe to break his neck, and crawling into the freaking gorilla Gorilla Pen. These are all pretty terrible things to do, but the last one specifically actually enters criminal territory. In all zoos, there is a clear sign telling people not to go into the animal enclosures, but Jeffy intentionally ignored that and went into Harambe's pen. Therefore, this would be classified as second-degree trespassing, which carries a sentence of up to 1 year in prison. But the next incident we're gonna look at somehow gets even worse. In SML movie Happy Merry Christmas, Santa comes over to deliver presents to the SML house, where he sees that Jeffy is still awake. He tells Jeffy to go to bed, but this is where all hell breaks loose. Jeffy proceeds to jump off the balcony and sumo slam Santa.
Surprise, Santa!
What was that?
Oh, shit! Get off of me! Run, Santa!
Which takes him straight to the ground. But that's not the end of it. Jeffy then baits Santa to go outside of the house, locks him out, and then steals his sack of presents. This is first-degree robbery at its finest, considering the fact that Santa's sack often contains millions, if not billions of dollars worth of presents. Jeffy would be looking at up to 30 years in prison. Jeffy just can't seem to help himself, because in SML movie The Substitute Teacher, the bad behavior continues. Cody's mom is teaching the class, while Jackie Chu is away, and she is not getting along with Jeffy, as she repeatedly gets pelted with spitballs and apples. But this is taken to a whole nother level, when Jeffy takes a globe from the top of the cabinet and lobs it, hitting Judy straight in the face.
Pineapple under the...
Hitting Jeffy with another year in prison. Now, we've seen Jeffy harm a lot of humans, but in SML movie Jeffy's Pet, we find out that no species is safe from Jeffy. In this video, Jeffy gets a fish, which he proceeds to name...
What are you gonna name him?
Ping Suck!
Which he quickly takes a liking to. However, this relationship does not last, with Jeffy eating the fish alive. You might think that that's enough trauma for one video, but then Mario and Rosalina think it's a great idea to buy Jeffy a hamster, which goes about as well as you would expect.
Jeffy, where's Melvin? Jeffy? Is he in your mouth? Open your mouth, Jeffy!
Although Jeffy does vomit him out, this is still very clearly animal abuse, and would get him 1 year in prison. But that's not it, because since he killed Pee-Pee Suck 1 as well, his sentence would be raised by another year. In this next video, Jeffy the rapper, Jeffy, well, becomes a rapper. But being a rapper comes with the rapper lifestyle. Immediately, he starts committing crimes like shooting an old lady and stealing a CC's gift card, which has to be the worst crime of them all. He then shows Mario the new friend he got and proceeds to slap her, which gets him taken away by the police. Now, usually, I would have to actually calculate how long Jeffy would go to jail for, but this video was one of the rare occasions where Jeffy actually goes to prison. So Jeffy, for committing that murder, larceny, and domestic violence, spends a grand total of 4 months in prison. That can't be right. Well, I think Brooklyn Guy actually has a pretty good explanation.
Oh no, he's not gonna go to jail for life. You see, he's famous, so he's probably gonna serve a few months at most.
To be honest, that's probably the most realistic thing he's ever said on the show. At this point, Jeffy has gone full-on Ted Bundy serial killer mode, committing his first murder against an innocent old lady. But this sinister side of Jeffy is on full display in SML movie The Unalive Body. In this video, Mario goes to take Jeffy outside in his car, but Jeffy just couldn't keep his hands to himself and starts forcing the steering wheel, causing Mario to accidentally hit a homeless man. Mario goes to check the body and sees that it's not moving. Yeah, he's dead. Mario has no idea what to do and brings him into the house. Eventually, Rosalina comes to the house and finds the body, which leads Jeffy to tie her up with Scotch tape.
Get your tape! Grab tape! Daddy, grab a tape! Scotch tape, Jeffy!
Mario says that they have to cut the body up and throw it in the ocean. However, it's revealed that the homeless guy isn't dead, so that means Jeffy is free to go. Right? Well, not exactly. You see, Jeffy still kidnapped his mom, lied to a police officer, and was about to saw a guy in half, so he's definitely not in the clear. In fact, totaling all this up would get him a whopping 35 years in prison, 15 for the kidnapping, and since he was trying to get rid of human remains, he would would be given the maximum sentence for tampering with evidence, which is 20 years, since Jeffy didn't know that the homeless man was dead. Jeffy gets bullied will be the next video we look at, and to be honest, the crimes he committed here were completely justified. This is because Bully Bill just wouldn't quit making fun of Jeffy. Jeffy doesn't take too kindly to this either, so he beats the life out of him, causing Jeffy to get yelled at by the teacher.
You want to fix it for me? Hey, you said that!
He is forced to apologize to Bully, who, even in his beat up state, cannot help himself and talks even more crap, which earns him another ass beating from Jeffy. Jackie Chu is fed up with Jeffy's fighting, but Bully won't quit it, so Mario and Rosalina have the idea to attach a camera to Jeffy, which records all of Bully's, well, bullying. They give the camera to Jackie Chu, well, not before beating the crap out of Bully, for a third time.
What are you filming? A day in the life of a retard?
This time I'm gonna kill you,
Although Bully was 100% asking for someone to beat him up, to this degree, for just making fun of someone is still a crazy crime, and this would warrant 50 years in prison for 3 counts of aggravated assault. Crazy. Now, it's become an annual tradition for Jeffy to terrorize Santa, and in this next video, Jeffy's Bad Christmas, he does just that. In this video, Santa doesn't give Jeffy any gifts for Christmas, but Jeffy is not having any of that.
Take that, Santa Claus!
So Jeffy, along with Junior and Cody, teleport Santa to the house and tie him up, saying that they'll only let him go if he gives Jeffy a toy. But Santa does not budge. He tries escaping multiple times, with Jeffy catching and beating him up every time. Jeffy rants about why Santa won't give him a toy when Santa starts to choke on cookies, which causes him to perform the Heimlich maneuver and save Santa, to which Santa thanks him and says that he'll get a present. However, Santa pulls a fast one and escapes back to the North Pole. This is clear-cut kidnapping. Plus, since Jeffy asks for presents as a ransom and assaults him multiple times, he's going 40 years in the slammer. Jeffy's crimes aren't just limited to violence though, as he also steals a lot of money in Jeffy the Rapper too. Jeffy and Mario need $6,000 to pay Mario's house payment, so Jeffy, after losing a rap battle, steals $10,000 from Tyrone.
Oh, dang, I got this. What? $10,000? Yep. Where'd you get that at, Jeffy? Oh, I stole it off the pile of money.
This would yield about 4 years in prison for theft. But what about the crimes that Jeffy did in Jeffy's Taco Tuesday? In this video, Jeffy really wants to get tacos, but Mario says no. Eventually, the gang get the money and buy tacos from a completely normal looking location.
Excuse me, sir.
Hey there, what can I do for you?
However, Junior and Cody discover that the tacos are actually bombs, and Cody goes to tell Mario and Jeffy before they eat them. Jeffy then gets really mad and throws the taco in anger, causing it to explode. This would definitely qualify as reckless endangerment and would earn him about 2 years in prison. You might have thought that after Jeffy obliterated Bully and Jeffy gets bullied, he may, you know, chill out and not get beaten. But of course, he doesn't, and keeps talking crap to Jeffy. In SML movie, Jeffy gets expelled. And let's just say he gets destroyed again. But this time, Bully Bill actually presses charges and gets Jeffy expelled from school, with Brooklyn Guy giving Jeffy an ankle monitor that would explode if Jeffy went outside. Jeffy spends the day inside until Bully Bill comes to the front door to talk more crap. But little did he know this would be his greatest mistake, because Jeffy gives Bully Bill the ankle monitor, which causes him to blow up.
I took the bracelet off and I put it on the bully. He exploded, Daddy.
Jeffy would be charged with first-degree murder, giving him his first life sentence of the video. If you've watched this far into the video, you know that Jeffy is seriously mentally disturbed in multiple ways. And this is made clear in SML movie Jeffy's Imaginary Friend. In this video, Jeffy is tasked with making a new species with Play-Doh for a school assignment. However, Jeffy's Play-Doh creation actually comes to life and befriends Jeffy. Good for him. But it's revealed that Jeffy's new friend is actually a figment of his imagination. He starts to tell Jeffy to do some really messed up stuff, like to kill Mario. At school, Jackie Chu gives Jeffy an F, which he gets really upset by, but his new imaginary friends tell him to throw a chair at him. Jeffy, scared of what his new friend could do to him if he says no, gives in and throws the chair at Jackie Chu.
Throw your chair at him.
But I'll get in trouble.
Do it.
All right, class. I hope you all enjoyed working on your Prado project.
Usually, an assault like this could yield a decade in prison, but due to Jeffy's clear schizophrenia, the sentence would be lowered to around 2 years in a psychiatric facility. Jeffy's next criminal act is an SML movie Jeffy's drone. Jeffy gets really bored of his toys and asks Mario to get him a drone. Mario reluctantly agrees, and Jeffy starts flying the drone inside of the house, which let's just say does not go well. Mario tells him to fly the drone outside the house, which Jeffy actually listens, but a bit too well, because he flew the drone higher and higher until he hit a plane engine. You might think this would lead to Jeffy getting hundreds of years in prisons for all the lives that he killed, but surprisingly, Brooklyn Guy the pilot managed to land the plane safely in a field. Jeffy would certainly get a massive fine for the damage to the plane, but in terms of prison time, he would only get 1 year in prison. SML movie Invisible Jeffy is the next video which we'll look at, and Jeffy gets full-on freaky in this video. Jeffy is nervous about giving a speech at school, so Mario gives Jeffy a pair of glasses, which supposedly makes him invisible. Jeffy then takes these glasses and straight up turns into Diddy, slapping girls on the ass, watching them undress, and taking pictures of them going to the bathroom. This level of sexual harassment would land Jeffy 2 years in prison. But now, let's go back to Jeffy attacking Bully Bill. In this next video, Jeffy's backpack. In this video, Jeffy doesn't have a backpack, which Bully Bill, to no one's surprise, starts mocking him. Jeffy then starts beating up Bully Bill, which gets him sent home. Bully Bill tries to press charges, but Brooklyn Guy could not be bothered. That's the end of it, right? Well, no. Mario gives Jeffy a Minecraft bag, to which Bully Bill bullies him again when Jeffy pulls out a Minecraft sword and starts attacking him.
Then I crafted in Minecraft using obsidian and Barney hugs.
You can't have that at school.
Yes, I can.
Ow! Don't hit me!
You didn't like it?
Finally, Jeffy goes to school with his new Jeffy backpack, which of course causes Bully Bill to bully him again. Jeffy then goes into his backpack and shoots freaking lasers at him, which Bully Bill blocks with his bulletproof backpack. This is another 3 assault charges, which would give him yet another 50 years in prison. But now, let's talk about the crimes he did in SML movie Goodman's credit card. In this video, Goodman goes to collect Mario's house payments and accidentally leaves his credit card. Junior and Cody then take their credit card and buy a bunch of stuff. They give it to Jeffy, who buys thousands and thousands of V-Bucks.
All right, Jeffy, $10,000 worth of V-Bucks for you and $10,000 worth of V-Bucks for me. Oh yeah, Junior, this is so PP.
This would usually only get a fine, but since it's 10,000 whole dollars, Jeffy would spend about a year in prison. It's been a while since Jeffy has had an animal-related crime, so let's end that streak and look at Jeffy's pet tiger. In this video, Jeffy sees a commercial for a tiger sale, which then Jeffy begs Mario to get. Mario tries to trick Jeffy with an orange cat, but Jeffy ain't buying any of that, so Mario goes to actually buy him the tiger. But predictably, the tiger then proceeds to cause havoc and even eat someone.
Little kitty, can I pet him?
In America, it's illegal to have certain exotic animals without a permit, and since a tiger is not only an exotic, but very dangerous animal that literally killed someone, Jeffy would definitely get the maximum 7-year sentence for smuggling an exotic animal. You didn't think we'd get away from Jeffy stealing for too long, did you? Because in Jeffy and Junior's big heist, Jeffy hits Bowser's prized Charlie signed underwear with ravioli. Jeffy and Junior both knew they would get pulverized by Bowser if he finds out, so they put the underwear in the wash, but this causes the signature to completely disappear. So Jeffy and Junior have to trick Charlie into re-signing the underwear. They first try asking him, but it doesn't work and Charlie takes back the underwear. So then Jeffy and Junior come back in disguise as a married couple and steal back the underwear. Then they come as TV executives asking Charlie to sign a deal for Charlie and Friends in Spanish.
Number 2 in your pants.
In my pants?
In your pants. Yeah, Charlie and Friends 2. Actually, Charlie and Friends Dos.
Dose?
Yeah, it's gonna air on Telemundo.
Telemundo?
Even though Charlie is kind of suspicious as to why a pair of underwear would be used as a contract, he still signs it. The level of identity fraud would lead to about 2 years in prison. Although he didn't impersonate someone real, he did defraud Charlie into signing something, so add another 2 years. Next up is Jeffy's speeding ticket. This video starts with Mario wanting to take Jeffy to school, but being sick, he can't. Jeffy needs to go to school, so when Mario lets Jeffy drive to school, this goes about as well as you could expect, with him getting pulled over multiple times. When Jeffy goes back home, Mario asks him if everything went alright, but when he asks Jeffy if he got a ticket, well...
You didn't wreck it? Mm-mm. You didn't hit anybody? Mm-mm. You didn't run anybody over? Mm-mm. You didn't get a speeding ticket? Wait, Jeffy, why are you making that face? Jeffy, did you get a speeding ticket?
Brooklyn guy comes over to the house, which reveals that Jeffy got 45 speeding tickets and a traffic violation. This causes Brooklyn guy to take Jeffy to jail. But after seeing how sad Mario got when he let Jeffy go, you might think that that was enough crime for one video. But Brooklyn guy lets Jeffy go on the condition that they pay off the tickets by the end of the day. To which Mario decides the only thing they can do is rob a store. Mario and Jeffy break in, empty the cash register, obscure the cameras, and then hide out in the freezer to get a grand total of a whopping $10. The entire sentence Jeffy would receive is around 5 years for the tickets and around 2 years for the robbery, for a total of 7 years. In President Jeffy, Jeffy runs as the Democratic candidate for the presidential race. The public are swayed by his amazing campaign promises.
You should vote for me for president because if I was president, I would ban all school. No kid would ever have to go to school ever again.
And he gets elected. Jeffy is then given the nuclear football by Brooklyn guy, which he then proceeds to use to nuke every green bean factory. This would be the largest casualty mass murder in history, and is so bad that the International Criminal Court would have to get involved because this is a violation of the Geneva Convention, meaning that yes, this is Jeffy's first war crime, and this would garner him 8 billion life sentences. In Jeffy's anger management, Jeffy poops in the sink of the school, causing Jackie Chu to freak out.
Ding, ding, ding!
Are those boxing gloves?
Night, night.
Jeffy makes a drawing to make fun of Jackie Chu, but then Bully snitches on him. Jeffy then gets out boxing gloves and beats the life out of Bully, which will get him another assault charge. But don't think Jeffy's gonna get away with his crimes that easy, because his crimes sure do follow him into the current SML channel. In SML movie Jeffy the Boxer, in this video, Jeffy tries to fight Floyd Mayweather, but he has no clout. So to gain that clout, he randomly beats up 34 people. This would already alone get a large sentence, but he then proceeds to knock out everyone who watched the video.
Oh! You just got knocked out! You just got knocked out! That's like 1 million and 0. That's like 1 million or 2 million and 0. However many views this video got, that's how many people Jeffy just knocked out.
Ironically, this is the most viewed video on the SML channel, at 57 million views. Each assault would give him 2 years, so 57 million counts would yield 114 million years in prison. But on Jeffy's 17th birthday, Jeffy wants a completely normal birthday gift of a Taco Bell sign, which they actually steal. This would get him around 1 year in prison due to how expensive the sign must have been for Taco Bell. In Jeffy Goes to Juvie, Jackie Chu gives Jeffy an axe for woodshop, but this goes just about as well as you'd expect, as Jeffy does his best Shining impression and buries the axe deep into Bully's head.
Teacher, can I see the nurse?
Is that an axe in your head?
Yeah.
Class, make sure you be careful with the tools.
And he also makes a gun out of wood. In school. This would lead to a sentence of around 10 years. In SML movie The School Bus, Jeffy and the other kids are tormented by the bus driver, who is Brooklyn guy's mom, Babs. Eventually, after torturing the students, Jeffy has enough and hijacks the bus, taking everyone home.
Bet me $5 I won't steal this bus. Bet. Oh man, how do I drive this thing? Let's listen to this baby purr. You guys ready to go home? No school for us today!
This crime would normally carry a sentence of around 5 years, but since all the passengers are minors, he would get 15 years. Despite getting into so many crimes, we never actually see Jeffy in court until Jeffy's penny. In this video, Jeffy tests the theory that if you were to throw a penny off the Empire State Building and hit someone, the person would die. The penny actually does go down and hit someone. They don't die, but he does press charges against Jeffy.
All right.
Ow! What? Hey!
This leads to a long legal battle, to which Jeffy loses. But instead of paying the money, they throw the penny at the judge, who gets knocked to the ground and immediately sentences both of them to death. It's crazy that Jeffy has committed so many crimes, but this is his first death sentence. But in Jeffy's adult Happy Meal, the gang go out and get the McDonald's adult Happy Meal, even though they are minors, which is the first crime in the video. But the real crime comes when the cops try to pull over Jeffy for having an expired tag. Instead of pulling over, he speeds away to evade Brooklyn guy.
Pull over! No, Junior, I can outrun him! No, pull over!
Then Joseph pulls out a gun to shoot him, and then finally, they just straight up kidnap Brooklyn guy for ransom.
But if you snitch, I'll let you go.
This would lead to a 45-year sentence for Jeffy. Jeffy's crime spree, though, is only exacerbated when he gets a car, and we can see this in Jeffy's hit and run, and Jeffy gets arrested. In Jeffy's hit and run, Jeffy takes Junior to pull hose and accidentally hits Patrick. Instead of checking up on him, he just casually drives off.
This car's gonna help me do it. Woo! What, Jeffy, what was that noise? Oh no, Junior, just keep singing. Jeffy is trying to
I think you hit something.
This would get Jeffy around a year in prison, because there didn't seem to be any lasting injuries on Patrick. And Jeffy gets arrested. Jeffy drinks a ton of root beer and starts to act really drunk, which wouldn't be a problem until he gets into the car and starts driving around pretending to be drunk. Although this wouldn't get him a DUI, he would still get around a year in prison for reckless driving. Jeffy's assaulting continues in the hockey game. In this video, Junior and Cody face Joseph and Jeffy in hockey. Jeffy doesn't seem to understand the rules of hockey though, and beats the life out of Junior and Cody with his stick.
Bring it on! Bring it on!
This would get him around 20 years in prison for assault with a deadly weapon. I mean, he even put Cody in a wheelchair, come on. Now, we've seen Jeffy do some unspeakable things, but none amount to the sheer destruction caused in the spy balloon. In this video, Jeffy and Cody play with a toy rocket and accidentally shoot down a Chinese spy balloon.
All right, Junior.
This gets them labeled as national heroes, and they all get medals of honor. However, they didn't tell the military chief that it was all an accident. This causes the chief to believe that the trio were actually the goats at missile defense, which causes them to fire the entire actual missile defense team, thinking Junior, Jeffy, and Cody are enough. This lie entirely backfires when China sends a nuke to San Francisco, and since the trio have no idea what to do, the nuke hits and kills everyone in San Francisco.
A nuclear ballistic missile has hit San Francisco. The death toll is in the millions. We believe it was shot by the Chinese.
Junior, we just got everyone in San Francisco killed.
This means that Jeffy would have 827,000 manslaughter charges. This would lead to around 1 million years added to Jeffy's sentence. In Jeffy Plays GTA 6, Jeffy puts on a VR headset, thinking he's playing GTA 6 in VR. But really, he isn't, and instead is just committing crimes in real life. In this crime spree, he hijacks the Lambo, hits Goodman, kills a small child, blows up a policeman and their police car with a grenade launcher, and steals a tank from a military base.
How are you gonna beat a tank?
Is that a tank? Where'd he get a tank?
From your mom's house. Take this.
Oh my god!
This is Jeffy's second war crime, as stealing any sort of weapon from military bases is a big no-no. And that weapon being a tank, yeah, Jeffy's completely cooked. Usually, it would be a nightmare to try to calculate what the sentence for that crime would be, but fortunately, Judge Poopy does that for us by sentencing Jeffy to life in prison. In SML movie The Ancient Egg, Cody tells the trio and Jeffy about a secret Mayan dirt farm, which has a magical egg buried within. The boys get to the farm, where they try to find the egg, but it is way too big to dig up on their own. This is until Jeffy comes with his excavator and absolutely tears up the ground, to which they actually find their egg.
Whoa, dude, that's sick!
However, it's revealed that the excavator was actually Brooklyn guys, which Jeffy hijacked. This would get Jeffy another 5 years in prison. Come on. Jeffy's crimes also extend to the freaking environment, as seen in SML movie Jeffy's Forest Fire. In this video, Junior, Joseph, and Jeffy get the great idea to light a bent firework in the woods in a dry season. Cody tells them that this is a really stupid idea, which the trio don't listen and light the fireworks anyway. This causes a massive forest fire, which kills a bunch of animals and totally eviscerates the woods.
Stay back, stay back!
Oh, dude!
Oh, it hit the tree.
Dude, we just started a forest fire! Let's get out of here!
This would lead to another 6 months being added to his sentence. In Jeffy the Wrestler, Jeffy wins the chance to fight the #1 wrestler, Bone Crusher. Everyone thinks he's gonna lose, but when he actually gets in the ring, he goes Hulk mode on him and pummels Bone Crusher, who tells him that the whole wrestling thing is fake. But Jeffy doesn't believe him and keeps beating him so badly that he dies. But that isn't the end of it, because at Bone Crusher's funeral, Jeffy takes Bone Crusher's body out of the casket and starts beating it up, thinking he's faking being dead.
I don't believe he's dead!
Oh, dear God! The horror! The horror!
This is still not it, because afterwards, Jeffy extorts money from Bone Crusher's parents, and then jaywalks to try to evade the cops. This would give Jeffy another life sentence for murder, plus all the other bad stuff. Jeffy's crazy crimes continue in Jeffy's traffic light. In this video, Jeffy takes the Skeeter Boys to McDonald's, but when he comes back, he runs a red light. Jeffy really doesn't want his parents to find this out, so he was mortified when he realizes that there may be a red light camera. In order to evade justice, he steals the traffic light and takes it back home. Not only is this a massive crime, but it gets worse when this causes a mass casualty car crash where the traffic light was supposed to be. This would give a 7-year sentence for Jeffy. In the Rudolph problem, Santa tries to deliver toys on his own after Rudolph died. The first house he went to is Jeffy's, who is upset at Santa and has a massive Star Wars duel with him.
You will try. Yeah.
This accumulates in Santa slicing up Jeffy and leaving him to die. Even though Jeffy did lose the fight, he still intended to kill Santa with a deadly weapon, which would get him 48 extra years in prison. Nice. But the final video we're gonna look at is Jeffy Goes to Epic Universe, and perhaps it has the largest prison sentence for Jeffy. In this video, Jeffy and Marvin go to Epic Universe in Universal Studios, and in the park, they see a very familiar pipe, which they were about to go into until Brooklyn guy scolds them.
Huh, Jeffy, I wonder what's inside that green pipe looking thing.
I don't know, Danny. Let's go check it out.
All right, let's go.
Where the fuck do you think you're going?
Apparently, it's not only illegal, but the worst crime in the SML universe to reference anything related to Mario or Nintendo. This gives Marvin and Jeffy an astounding 10 billion consecutive life sentences, which totals up to 800 billion years in prison. So this is Jeffy's full prison sentence. He's really gonna have to start drinking his milk if he wants to get through this. But if you want to free my boy Jeffy, subscribe.